Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Beckley, West Virginia, an angry person takes vengeance and violence to another level, and a family perishes in a terrible fire, all for the love of a cousin. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another wild edition of Small Town Murder. And oh, man, is it crazy this week. I'm telling you, It's West Virginia, first of all. This week, there are 2 stories involved in here. It's West Virginia. They were so crazy, you can't just pick one. It's like chips, you can't just eat one. We can't just pick one. Yeah. There's 2. It's crazy. The second one, oh my God, buckle up, because it is just as crazy a story as we've ever had, ever. But we'll get into all of that. Thank you for everything, first of all, for your reviews and telling people about the show. We really do appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Whatever app you're listening on, throw 5 stars on there, and that does a lot for the show. You can also head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. And you can do wonderful things there, like get all the merchandise, new stuff up all the time, new mottos and slogans and logos and everything on there. And in addition to that, get your tickets to live shows. So many live shows. August the 12th, San Francisco Cobb Comedy Theater. We will be there. There are 2 shows that night. They will be different stories. So if you want to go to both shows, feel free. You're going to see 2 different shows. So do that. The next night we're in Sacramento at the Ace of Spades. The Small Town Murder is sold out, but always check back because people can return tickets because it's a rescheduled show. You never know if any will pop up. And then Crime and Sports, still a few tickets left. You can get those. Also, get your tickets to the Pabst in Milwaukee on September the 10th. Going to be our biggest show ever. Be a part of it. We want to tell everybody, what's your biggest show you've ever done? Milwaukee. That's what. Beat everybody else. And if you went to the Chicago show, it's a different show than that completely. So feel free to come up and see it, and you'll see a completely different show.
Great.
Also, Tampa, Orlando Improv. Those are for sale. Yeah. Check those out in September. There you go. Do all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus stuff. And we are cooking this week, as we always are. You're going to get at least 4 shows a month. You're going to get all sorts of content. We have a huge back catalog on there. Patreon bonus episodes, over 100 of them. Good stuff. Anybody $5 or above, you're going to get access to everything we put out.
Everything.
Bonus-wise. This week, we are going to talk about, for Crime and Sports bonus, we're going to talk about Michael Jordan scandals. Everyone knows who Michael Jordan is, the most bulletproof public figure in the history of the world. The man wore a Hitler mustache on an underwear commercial, and nobody said a thing. It was fine. Gross. We're going to talk about his gambling, those things, his dead father, and the conspiracy theory behind that. Also, his paternity suits that happened every year, and one of the biggest divorce settlements you'll ever hear of, too. It's amazing. So
in
cool.
history. Yeah.
In history. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about, it's been over a year since we've done this. We got to do it again. Small Town Reviews.
Oh, boy.
It's kind of the best part of the show, and we're going to do that for a whole episode on there. And we'll hit up a couple small town businesses in there, too. It'll be fun. So lots of fun with that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get it all. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy will mispronounce your name while trying to desperately get it correct.
Striving so hard.
He won't. Yeah. So that's great. Disclaimer, this is a comedy show. We're comedians, so there's going to be jokes, but there's also going to be terrible murder. That's the thing. There's a way to do this that doesn't step on the toes of the terrible murder. See, that's the thing.
The game. Yeah.
Lots of stuff to make fun of. You can make fun of murderers, number one. They're easy. A police force that lets a murderer go free for 10 years or something. That's easy to make fun of.
Bad.
They're almost as bad. But what we don't do, we go out of our way not to do, is we never make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
What?
But we're not scumbags. And so that's how that works. If you think that sounds good to you, we are going to have a crazy show all about West Virginia. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever go together, I don't know. You might not like the show, but you might.
Yeah.
Either way, no bitching afterwards. So that said, I think it's time to sit back, clear the lungs wherever you are, in your car, maybe with the windows rolled up so it doesn't look like you're road raging, or scare the shit out of your cat in your kitchen. Whatever you do, shout, "Shut up!
Shut up and give me murder."
Let's do this, Jimmy.
Well, let's take a ride.
Let's go on a trip.
We're
to a familiar place, baby. This is kind of like our... feels like our
this is a real wheelhouse right here.
It's our base of operations almost here. We're going to West Virginia, everybody. Here we go.
We got a corporate brick and mortar headquarters. This might be it.
This is it. And just if you fast forwarded through the beginning of the show, 2 stories here. So trust me, you want to hear the second story too. Stick around. I'm telling you. Holy shit. All right. Beckley, West Virginia, we're going to go to. Beckley. It's in southern West Virginia, kind of like the right side of the chicken's ass. We said it looks like a crooked chicken, West Virginia. This is the right side of the chicken's ass down there. It's about 2 hours to Huntington, West Virginia, about 3 hours to Morgantown, and then about 2 hours and 5 minutes to, just my favorite name of a town, and one we did in episode 250, Dingus, West Virginia, for the shocking backwoods brutality there. So this is in Raleigh County. Raleigh, like Raleigh, North Carolina.
Same spelling.
Same spelling. Area code 304. It's got several mottos here. Don't even have to make jokes because there's so many. Motto: the gateway to southern West Virginia.
Yikes.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get on that gateway. The City of Champions. Okay, sure. Yeah, why not?
What have they won?
Nothing that I know of. They won the award for a small town murder episode. That's what they've won. The small town murder award for having hillbillies who kill each other. And the smokeless coal capital.
Oh.
I don't know how you make coal smokeless. I'm not aware of the...
It's stuff you just tuck in your lip.
It's just coal you stick in there. It's just tobacco-infused coal. What we do here around these parts is we roll the coal in tobacco, and then you just stuff it in your bottom lip. Keep you going all day long.
Put it in little pouches.
Oh,
so
it's
it
good.
Get in your teeth.
So, history of this town, named in honor of John James Beckley. He was the first clerk of the House of Representatives and the first librarian of Congress.
Yeah.
His son founded it, actually, and named it after him, even though it's still named after
Well, he died young, James, because a lot of people don't know this, but he had a big problem with smoking coal.
That was the thing. Well, it was smokeless. No one could tell. He switched to the smokeless because he thought it was better for him, and it turns out it wasn't. That's the thing.
Big coal smoker, this guy.
I picture it in a crack pipe, too, like really firing up the end of it.
In a light bulb, in a GE.
Just really fucking... he blows it out, nothing comes out because it's smokeless. He's like, man, you can feel it, though. You can't see it, but boy, can you feel it. So Alfred Beckley, his son, was a U.S. Army lieutenant and brigadier general of the Virginia militia.
Oh.
And this place was founded in 1838, but it, for a long time, just existed on paper. It was just a place that he named, I guess, quote, for his dad, and nobody lived there. So it's,
just
a named
of land,
just a named piece of woods, basically, here. They said that Alfred Beckley said he was, this is from a newspaper back then, quote, frequently jeered and laughed at for his paper town. Loser! Your town doesn't even have people in it, you pussy. Just yelling at him.
What town?
Sorry. So, I guess sometimes it was called Beckleyville as well for a while there. Mm-hmm. It was named the county seat in 1850, though. It was originally located in Fayette County, Virginia, and then it turned into, it didn't move. The borders moved.
Okay.
So during the 1960 presidential primaries, John F. Kennedy and Hubert Humphrey, who turned out to be lost in 1968 and was Lyndon Johnson's vice president after Humphrey died, they were both running for president. They just bumped into each other on a street corner in Beckley where they were both there to campaign. They were like,
weird.
Hey, what's up, dude? And they just hung out and talked and shit. And I was like, what a weird...
historical figure. Hey, historical figure.
How's it going? Hey, president who got killed and will be on a coin and everyone loves. How you doing? Guy who's going to lose in 1968 and be a national joke for a long time is the guy who couldn't fucking keep Nixon out of the White House again. Nice job.
Hey, guy will forget until somebody mentions your name.
Hey, guy, they'll name one of the worst stadiums ever in history after. How's it going? With a stupid white dome that no one can see a fucking baseball in.
Say your name's Hubert? Stupid.
Hubert. So reviews of this town. Oh, boy. Here we go. These are great. 4 stars.
Oh, yeah.
Mountain Mama, take me home.
Is that what they said?
That's the first line. Exclamation point.
It feels like a song.
It's John
right?
Denver.
Yeah,
Mama, take me. It's fucking Country Roads. He only said that because he needed that many syllables, I figure, though. He doesn't actually... Before that, it was North Dakota, Minnesota, and they were like, you're just naming states, bro. And he's like, all right, fine. How about Mountain Mama? All right, well, whatever. That's different, at least. And we roll. Take 3. Yeah. He goes... I have lived in the growing town of Beckley, West Virginia for 15 years. My teenage, young adult, and now adult life have been spent here. From our local-owned businesses, big franchise-named stores, parks, and healthcare facilities, we have expanded. If I had to sum up the town of Beckley in one word, I would say friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. The public schooling was one of the best experiences of my life.
What kind of person?
I was going to say, that's a bad sign right there. That's the best experience. I have made great friends and obtained a quality education in Beckley. Have you been outside of Beckley? I don't know if you... there is not much I would do to change this place. I feel completely safe when I walk down my street, and in today's world, that is saying something. If I had to complain about anything, I believe it would be the condition of our roads. Many people have damage to their car from a simple pothole. There are so many everywhere. The complaint is something that is being fixed. We are working together to build a beautiful, secure, prosperous place to live. Come visit.
Why?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate your enthusiasm.
I don't want to visit if your roads are going to beat the shit out of my car.
Come visit, but borrow a car. 3 stars. The police officers and ambulance need to be quicker and more reliable to tell us residents what, by the way, spelled wrong, what's happening in our streets. There have been many shootings later that I believe could have maybe been prevented. There are a lot of drugs in this area, but the police officers don't seem to care if you inform them about it.
Drugs and people are getting shot? I'm out.
This person said that's the safest thing ever. They walk down the street with $100 bills hanging out of their pocket, whistling Dixie, and nobody bothers them.
Well, it's probably a drug dealer that shoots people.
Maybe that's what it is. That's what that first review came from. 2 stars. I'm reading the reviews again, and I read before moving here 3 years ago and can't believe people say so many positive things about this town.
There we go.
Visit here before moving here, which I always say to people about Phoenix. Visit first
See it first,
in July and then come back if you want, or don't. 1 star. This place brings nothing but misery to everyone that lives here. There is nothing to do but bars. Nothing to do. Oh, bars are disgusting and old. They suck. Nothing fun for kids to do. Mall is small and almost every store has closed down, but it's the people that really ruin and make this place so bad. It's the people that are really the shit part. Almost everyone here is on drugs, and nobody hardly has a legal driver's license or drives at all. Thieves are everywhere. People are rude, uncaring dope fiends. Every job pays less than other states. Restaurants or fast food places employ nothing but drug addicts. I would never eat out here because filthy drug addicts is what's making your food. I've been a cook at several restaurants here. So you're a filthy drug addict is what you just said. So I can definitely say this is true. That was all one sentence with no punctuation. That's why I read it like that. I read it how he said it. STDs and welfare run high here.
Hell yeah.
If you are not on drugs, everyone will snub you and want nothing to do with you. Ew, look at him. No track marks or anything. Ugh, and they turn away, looking down their nose.
Well, he's still got an itchy dick.
Oh, man. Customers, you scratch it. Meh. Customer service is terrible. You're lucky if a person even greets you when you walk into a store here. Wish I wasn't from here. I'm ashamed to be from here and can't wait to leave. That's a review right there.
Why do you need to be greeted when you enter a place? I don't
care.
Welcome in. Shut the fuck up.
You can go ahead and leave me alone.
I don't know when that became such a big thing, but everywhere you go, that's what they say.
Yeah, because it's hospitality. You're supposed to feel like you're welcomed in a place, and hey, come on in and look around, Chief. I don't give a shit. I'd rather you don't talk to me. I feel more welcome that way, as you know. But
you walk in fucking Tilly's.
Most people want their balls tickled when they walk in somewhere. Oh, I could potentially spend money here, so everyone jerk me off as soon as I walk in the door.
No.
So 1 star. 1 star. There's always a dark cloud over this place. I think they mean, like proverbially, not like literally. The weather's terrible. Never stops raining. There's not one decent woman in this whole town that's not. Wait a second. He's not saying there's not one decent woman. He's saying there's a caveat here. Okay?
All right.
There's not one decent woman in this whole town that's not hopped up on meth and crack covered from head to toe and tattoos. The only decent women in the whole town are hopped up on meth and crack. That's hilarious. Those are the decent ones. Head to toe tattoos, hopped up on meth and crack.
I like them.
The cops will rip your vehicle to pieces looking for a little bit of marijuana or wait across the street from your favorite bar to pull you over and burn your life and turn your life upside down. Happiness is not allowed here. Stay far, far away from this dreadful place. Oh, my God. They need to put that on a fucking sign as you come into town. This whole statement. Everyone stop and read this before you come in. That person's got some DUIs, by the way. Let's just say that.
They do.
People in this town, those are amazing. See, this is why the Patreon episode's going to be so great. We read shit like that for an hour and have time to talk about it because I love to dissect that in great detail. Population of this town here, 15,805 somehow. People live here.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So it's almost 54% female, so way more females than males. Median age is 40, which is only a little over the national average.
Useless women, though.
They're all hopped up on meth, and not one decent woman in this entire town who's not hopped up on. That's amazing. All the decent women, all methed out. 43% married. I assume probably half of those want a divorce. They just don't have the agency to do it in this place, I suppose, with the dark cloud. 25% are single with children. It's usually 10% in the rest of the country. 25. Race in this town, it is 70.4% white, 22.1% black, 2.9% Asian, and 1.3% Hispanic. So that's the breakdown. 31% religious in this town.
Is that right?
No God in them mines, Jimmy. That's the thing. Yeah. When you're down in them coal mines, you dance with the devil. You don't believe in the Lord.
It's scary down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the most of it's spread around pretty decently, but the most, of course, are 8% Baptists, which Baptists are the Catholics of the Appalachians, I guess.
A little more south.
0.1% Jewish. Not going to be a lot of Jewish people in a West Virginia town like this. In the county, Raleigh County, which is a rural county, not a ton of people here, 24% voted Democrat last election, 74.5% Republican, 1.4% independent. The unemployment rate is just about like the national average here, not too far off. The income, though, is a little bit low. The household income here, median household income, $33,616.
Holy shit.
Which is about $20,000 less than the national average. Not great. Cost of living is low, though. 100 is average. Here it's 70. So that's not bad. Housing is the lowest. Median home cost, $74,600.
Very
cheap.
Affordable. Yeah.
Fucking cheap. So if we have convinced you, all the good women hopped up on meth and crack and everything to move here, we have for you the Beckley, West Virginia Real Estate Report. The average two-bedroom rental here goes for $693. So,
okay.
I mean, that's
affordable.
about right. Yeah. Here is a two-bedroom, one bath, I suppose. We don't really know what's inside. 528 square feet. Okay. It's a little house. Use only one picture from the outside because clearly you can't get in because there are trees growing out of the house.
Stop it.
Yeah. No, you can barely see. It's one of these houses where you'd go, is there a house behind that shit? Like behind those, and there's like a house that's been overgrown and taken back by nature.
Returning to the earth?
It says the last line of the review is, quote, the home, or not the review, the listing. Yeah. The home appears to have utilities for gas and water.
We think.
We don't know. We can't get close enough to it to tell, but I suppose it does. Either way, $10,000 for this little gem.
Does your house say, I am Groot?
I think it's the guy with the DUIs. He's very upset. Yeah. Here is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,160 square feet. Big, giant front yard, big backyard. Not bad. It's a little weird inside. It's like kind of like very 1991 in there. It's kind of strange, but it's a good size place. A lot of the pictures have a French bulldog in it who looks like he's...
What?
Just doesn't look like he wants to be there, really. He just kind of looks like he's just like...
It just followed somebody around and planted its ass when they took a picture?
He like turns and he's like, they overbred me. And he's just like, I have health problems. So it's very, very strange place. $299,900 for
Oh, my God.
Which seems more expensive than it should be there. Yeah. Then there's a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,300 square feet.
There you go.
Big old house. It looks like has no personality. Very kind of brick and white and wood and modern.
Blah, huh?
Somebody cookie cuttered this bad boy up and was like, "Bow, HGTV will love this fucking place." One of those. $1,350,000 for this place.
Is there land?
Not much. It's not a ton.
What?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of shit houses, and if you want a nice house, it's going to fucking cost you.
You're going to pay for it. Yeah.
You're going to pay for it because they don't exist that much. Things to do. Oh, boy. The Appalachian Festival.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. The Appalachian Festival. Week-long festival features events throughout the week celebrating Appalachian heritage and culminating with the Appalachian Makers Market. Which I guess they make shit and then sell it to you.
Yeah.
There's that. Not a whole lot of activities that they really put. It just says that activities focused on life in Appalachia. So, judging by the wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia, that entails like singing at a coal parade, snorting pills off the back of a bar's toilet, and shirtlessly playing slot machines. Right? I feel like
the Appalachian life does not sound like It doesn't sound glamorous at all. It's very
West Virginia.
Back to the early days.
I saw this old film on YouTube. There's this channel that does like Appalachian shit. Like the guy just drives like up in these hollers and like shows you shit. So like for this show, obviously I watch it. And there's this one episode where they just show this old film from like Indiana University, made it in like 1938 about West Virginia hill people. It was like they followed them around. And there's at the end of the night, they show their whole day. At the end of the night, the dad's playing banjo there, and there's like 9 fucking filthy, shoeless kids sitting around. And at one point, the one kid who's maybe 7, I'm saying he's a big, I don't even think he's 7, fucking rolls and smokes a cigarette. Just rolls and with his dad sitting right there. He's bopping along to the music, just smoking, and his dad's like, grooving along with the banjo. I'm like, what's happening? That kid's 6.
Well, James, he
knows how to roll them too.
That was the coal. That's why they went to
smokeless. Holy shit. Then there's the Star Jewel Fall Festival West Virginia pageant. Oh, buddy. Open to all residents of the United States, all ages welcome. $195 registration fee. Holy shit.
What?
Yeah, that's a lot. You have to do 3 different events: the formal wear, the autumn wear, and the community service portion of it here. They look for these things here: talent, your photogenicness, one for print modeling stuff, party wear, casual wear. This is crazy. Then there's side awards, a series of best awards, little side things: best eyes, best hair, best smile, best formal wear, and best personality. You can win all of those.
Complexion, but she's got nice eyes.
Oh boy. That's great. And so there, have a lot of fun with that. Enter all of your whole family in that, and you can win
$200.
$200 to join that and be ogled by hillbillies. Perfect. Crime rate in this town, wow. Property crime, keep in mind, I feel safe to walk down the street, and that's saying something. Property crime, almost 3 times the national average.
Triple.
Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, the biggies, also almost 3 times the national average. That person was like a councilman or something, or like the head of the tourism board. Their whole thing was just complete, and no other reviews said that, anything like that. All the other reviews are like, even the ones that liked it's like, you got to avoid the crackheads and such, but, it ain't bad. It's pretty in the summer, like that kind of shit. But this person was like, oh my God, it's the greatest. So
it's 3 times more dangerous here than anywhere, than average places in the country.
Your body and your shit, all in danger.
And a house is $1 million.
Yeah, for a decent house. Well, no, that's more than a decent house, but even the other one was $300,000 for a nice,
That's crazy.
Wow. So that said, let's talk about a murder. And like I said earlier, we have 2 murders. So do not say, oh, that's one murder. Just stick around.
Are they both
holy
here?
Shit. No, one is in Parkersburg.
Okay.
But the one in Beckley is crazy too. They're both crazy, these murders, but the second one is the most West Virginia thing I've ever heard in my life. So
all right.
Here we go. First of all, let's start out this murder case by talking about Ronald Dale Bennett, N-T, Bennett.
Yeah.
He is 43 years old in 1988 when this whole craziness occurs. He's born in 1945, so you can track his age throughout the years here. He is, and this isn't surprising because this is kind of a lot of our murderers on this show, he is regarded as the black sheep of the family.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. Everybody's kind of... everyone in his family's afraid of him more than it's not like they're just annoyed by him or that sort of thing. He's got a hair trigger temper and very mean, kind of a cruel guy. He's known as IQ in the mid 70s, not very high. Yeah. He's a very angry, impulsive man. Put it that way.
Would you say he's a frustrated that he's dumb person?
He's frustrated. I don't think he thinks he's dumb, though. I think that he's frustrated that everyone can't get on his level. That's his problem. He's one of those guys. He's like Doyle in Sling Blade. He's like what the fuck is it? Dwight Yoakam in Sling Blade, where he's just like everybody, you fucking dumb motherfucker, and he's just a stupid asshole, but he's yelling at everybody for being not quite as bright as him,
Did he win an Academy Award for that? He fucking
no, but God damn it, was he good? You wanted to bash his skull in that movie.
Yeah.
When Billy Bob finally goes after him, you're like, yes, slaughter him in his own chair,
with
in
a
his own living room.
With a lawnmower blade. Yeah, that's exactly what he deserved.
Yes. Oh, you're thrilled with it. You're like, fuck yeah, hand it to the kid, let him get a couple shots in. That's what you're thinking in that movie. So, anyway, black sheep of the family. They said he always, this is from a report later on, he's always exhibited a quick temper, signs of meanness. Signs of meanness. That's from a doctor. Hatred and anger to the point that it was known by basically everybody to be fearful of him. We're talking wife, kids, sisters, brothers, cousins, grandma's scared of him. Everybody's terrified of him. Wow. If he comes over, everybody's on pins and needles till he leaves, and then they all go, okay.
Thank God he left.
He left. And I could see his first 25 years or so, he was just a dick, and everybody was, you could sense his attitude and be afraid of him, but there was no kind of anything to back it up. It was just like, oh, man, he seems like he'd really go off on you. But then after he's about 25, you realize that, you should steer clear of him after what happens to his first wife. This is crazy. He shot his first wife.
Oh, boy.
Didn't kill her, though.
No?
Didn't kill her. Apparently she wanted a divorce. And she wanted to take the children, who are Ronald Dean Barker and Brenda Barker, not Bennett Barker. Somehow they got named. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but whatever. Apparently. Or who knows? You know what? Who knows? It could be.
Maybe they flipped the coin.
We have no idea. It's West Virginia, so who cares at this point? It starts with a B. Maybe they just misspelled Bennett. I don't know. So she wanted a divorce. She wanted to take the two children, and he said he wasn't going to let her have them.
Really?
And they had a standoff. Well, the way he describes it later on, he only does a couple years in prison for this, by the way.
What?
This is the crazy part. His friend, by the way, this woman named Glenda, who he's friends with for years and years, he meets her after all this and tells her what happened to his first wife. And this is true. Quote, he told me that he shot his wife. He told me that he raped his wife. He told me that he drove and drove and drove with her in a car with him, and that he decided he'd have himself a beer, and when he finished his beer, he was going to finish her off. Because he had already raped and shot her, but then he was like, oh, she's still alive. He said the police came before he could do that and put a gun to his head and placed him under arrest. So the cops apparently rolled up on him about to finish off his wife, who was bleeding profusely from a gunshot wound in the car. And
post-rape, too.
Who's been raped and shot. And then they roll up with guns on him and pull him out of the car and save her life. She ended up living.
And give him 2 years for it.
And he only gets a couple of years.
Wow.
The thing after that, though, she just disappears. The kids end up going with him. Yeah, he gets custody of the children after raping and shooting their mother. Okay.
Well, I mean, how's she going to protect them if she can't protect herself?
Oh, God,
That's got to be how they see it, right?
In West Virginia in 1968? That's, probably. Well, she can't even keep herself safe. No, that's obviously the most ridiculous legal ruling of all time. You take the kids. That seems right.
How could they do that?
Well, if she takes him, he's just going to come over and shoot her again. So we'll just give him to her. I don't understand it. But she just takes off. She's so terrified of him that she takes off, leaves her children behind, never to be heard from again. The kids never hear from their mother again.
Are we sure that she disappeared and took
Gone.
off? Are we
sure
no,
she was alive.
Okay.
She was she was alive. He didn't get charged with murder. He got charged with
she abandoned
assault.
the children, so he won.
That's exactly what he wanted, was to win,
Wow.
and he ended up winning. So hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Which is a pretty gross W there in the pretty gross check in the dub column on that one, I would say.
that's a bloody W.
Jesus Christ. Also, all of his friends said he frequently reads True Detective magazine, which every weirdo fucking murderer we talk about from back then loves those detective magazines.
Truly,
from John Wayne Gacy to fucking BTK. Oh my God, they were his favorite thing in the world. To Leonard Lake and Charles Ang loved them. They were like this. Ted Bundy loved them. They were these like a roadmap.
The author of that magazine has to feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, people would read those and go, I never even thought to do that, and then they do it. But the thing is, normal people can take that and go, oh, that's a terrible story.
Yeah,
it's a sick mind that goes, oh, that's a good idea. Like that's not what's supposed to come out of those stories. A good idea. It's crazy.
That guy's inbox and mailbox must have been full of correspondence with nut jobs.
From one end of the spectrum to the other. From, man, I am jerking it like a bastard to those things. Keep pumping them out to, oh my God, I cried myself to sleep after I heard that one. Just a full range of emotions coming from people. So, he would do all of that. And I guess at some point he gives one of his friends like a giant stack of them, like a huge, crazy, weird.
I've had all I can take of these.
Too many stack. Like, they're filling my closet. You have to take some type of thing. Like, I had a friend give me porn one time like that, where he used to buy the lots of like hundreds of DVDs at a time. And he opened his closet and he had no clothes in his closet. It was just all porn. And he said, you got to take some of these. And I'm like, how many am I supposed to take? This is crazy. So you could fit shirts in here?
Side.
Yeah, like it's enough to clear out a section for shoes. What are we talking about here? So anyway, he's living with, in 1988, he's not living with, but he has 2 kids from a previous marriage. They're adults now. Ronald Dean Barker, who's 25, and Brenda Barker, who's 23 at that point.
Yeah.
And he is remarried. Somebody married him in 1970, Jimmy.
Was it Glenda?
No. Glenda didn't meet him until 1973 or something. Gotcha. But in 1970, after getting out of prison for shooting and raping his wife, he meets another lady who can't resist his wiles and charms here.
He's a suitor.
He is Virginia Louise Bennett. She goes by Penny. That's what everybody calls her.
Yeah, I can see how you can get there.
Ginny, Penny. I don't know. Penny, whatever. Who knows? You know what, though? Maybe her mom and her sister were both named Virginia, too. We have no fucking idea. It's West Virginia. How many women are there named Virginia around? Probably a lot.
Yeah.
So you get a nickname. Virginia Louise Penny, Penny Bennett. Penny, she's 42 in 1988, so he's 43, she's 42, so age appropriate anyway, which, we've had not age appropriate on this show.
Way too many times.
Recently.
Yeah.
So she is from originally Pike County, Kentucky. Oh. She's one of 6 kids. Her father's name is Ermal, which I was like, is that a name?
That's the first time I've heard that.
Ermal.
No.
Yeah, Ermal. I don't know. Ermal. It's like, that's their dad's name. Fucking
Is
Ermal.
that like a garbled pronunciation of Elmer? And then they just wrote it like that?
It's like a Scrabble hand. They just like shook it up, and however it came out of the letters of that, they put it together. Ermal.
That's terrible.
We just name kids with a Scrabble board down here. And her mom's name is Irene. And they get married. The kids are young, but they know that they had a mother. They know they had another mother, but they don't ever see their mother. So from the time Penny marries their dad, Ronald, she's mom, period. Yeah. There's no anything else. There's no, well, you're not really my kids. It's she raises them from a young age as hers, and that's that. Yeah. So, she was the daughter, Brenda, was 5 when all of this happened, when her parents were divorced, because of a shooting and all. She said she called Penny mom her whole life, and Penny cared for her, raised her, and she was a great mom. By the way, Penny, no one has a bad word to say about Penny. She is nobody. In a legal document, it says, it is undisputed that Virginia Penny Bennett is a good and decent person. Undisputed, legally.
She's an undisputed good and decent person?
What was it, 3 weeks ago? We had someone adjudicated a whore. We had a judge officially declare a woman a whore. Here she's officially declared a good and decent person in state legal documents. So that's cool, right?
She's the undisputed champ of it.
Of state, of good and decency. Goodness and decency. Good for her. So now the father here, Ronald, even though he's just not around a lot, even though they're together, they never get a divorce. He works in Cleveland, Ohio, which is like 5 hours away.
Really?
Yeah, he's a steel worker who works in Cleveland. So they say he stops by like a couple times a month, for maybe like 2 weekends a month. He'll come home and be there for a day or two and be gone again. So it's just Virginia and the kids mainly, their whole life. And Ronald and Penny have a kid of their own as well. Okay. To add to the mix, who is Darlene is her name, and she is 16 in 1988. So there we go. Now, 2 kids from the previous, one from theirs. Everybody lives in the house. Everything is, except for him being, having bouts of meanness and working in Cleveland
constantly.
Everything's fine, and when he's gone, everything's fine. Nobody cares. He makes decent money as a steel worker, does well, takes care of business. Everything's fine. So, anyway, 1988 comes around, and by the way, Penny puts up with a lot of shit. Okay. She puts up with a lot of shit over the years. He is just his temper is awful. He's also extremely domineering.
That's what they're controlling people.
Yeah, you have to do everything he says, type of thing. Like, everything has to be just how he says, just how he likes it, or he'll freak the fuck out. And he's violent, and he's scary, and he's, hair trigger. So when he comes home for that weekend, everybody's on their toes, waiting for an explosion all the time.
Wait for the shoe to drop, right.
Exactly. So that's how he is. But from like 86 through 88, it gets worse. It starts to kind of just magnify every little thing sets him off, and everybody's terrified of him. He's beating the shit out of the kids all the time. And
what's happening?
Everybody's terrified of this guy. He just doesn't, I don't know. He just comes home, terrorizes the shit out of everybody, and then leaves and goes back to Cleveland, on a regular basis. So it's really weird. All of the kids say, and everybody who's ever been around them says, Penny wouldn't even argue with him. She would never, the kids said they've never heard her raise her voice to him ever.
Really?
In their whole marriage, decades here, 2 decades almost of marriage.
And that's fine, not arguing. But if there's something where somebody's
being
beating
abused,
the shit out of the family, maybe raise your voice a little.
Well, she's she's part of the abuse. I mean, a part of being abused. Yeah, that's what I mean. She's in that camp, so she's terrified of him, and she just basically goes with it. And I'm sure if he told his friend, Glenda there, I'm pretty positive he told this wife that, hey, if you divorce me and try to take the kids, I'll rape you and shoot you, by the way. Jesus. I don't care. So I can't imagine he wouldn't have said that. Now, she, by the way, Penny is like a homemaker, stay-at-home mom until her youngest is in the 7th grade, and then she went to work out of economic necessity, even though he made really good money. He just wouldn't support his family, basically.
What?
He's living his other life in Cleveland and doing his thing or whatever he's doing and not sending enough money home to, pay the bills and care
Penny's
for
got to work.
So Penny's got to go to work too, even though she shouldn't have to because he makes good money and she's trying to take care of 3 kids. But that's fine. So now she would go to church, the Beckley Church of God, all the time. And she worked at the Beckley Appalachian Regional Hospital in the dietary department.
Oh.
So that's what she did for a living here.
Is that the cafeteria? Or is she designing menus?
Dietary department. I don't know what the hell that does, honestly. It doesn't sound like the cafeteria. Maybe they help put together the meals for the patients. Yeah. Right. I don't know. Maybe it's in the anorexia wing, eating disorder. I have no idea. No clue. Either way, Ronald's in Cleveland most of the time. So this is they live this normal life, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, Dad's home type of thing. Oh no, he's home you never know when he's going to pop in. That's the other thing. Right. Might be on a Thursday. Just he pops in after work. Holy shit, what the fuck? 10 o'clock at night, here's Dad. It's just, you never know. So Glenda Willis is the one who, she lives in Cleveland. That's how he knows her, from working in Cleveland. She's the one he gave a giant stack of True Detective magazine to back then. She here, take these. She's like,
here's some light reading.
I don't want these weird things with scantily clad women being bound and this is creepy, man.
Tied up and shit.
Yeah, I've heard of Ted Bundy by now. This is gross. I don't like it.
I now know what you like. That's weird.
Yeah, this is what you're into? Jesus, bro. Come on, man. So March 4th, 1988. Okay, this is when shit really escalates as far as all of the beef around the house here. So Ronald comes home that weekend.
Yeah.
What does he discover at his kitchen table? What would be the most enraging thing he could find? Just enraging. Just like Penny.
At the table?
Yeah, at the kitchen table. Right at on the kitchen table, no less. What, Penny getting teamed by 8 coworkers while the kids eat popcorn and watch? Would that be the worst thing possible?
4 months of the mortgage?
No. Okay. He finds something to him way more horrifying than any of these things. Okay. He finds his 16-year-old daughter, Darlene, at the kitchen table. You know what she's doing, Jimmy?
She having breakfast?
You know what she's doing? She's filling out a tax return.
What does that mean?
You fucking bitch. How dare you? How dare you?
So she's paying taxes and he's furious?
She's been working at a fast food restaurant at nights and on the weekends to help her mom pay the bills while she's in school and to save up some money. She wants to get a car and shit like that, kid stuff. So she's been doing that. She's filling out a tax return because, that's what you do when you work, because you kind of have to. He sees this and flies off the handle, loses his mind. How dare you fill out a tax return? Okay. Not because he's like, we don't pay taxes in this house, we hide. None of that shit. He's angry because now he can't claim her as a dependent on his return.
Okay, so
because she's been working.
Get $1,500.
So he doesn't go, God damn it, son of a bitch. God, well, Jesus, now I lost $1,500. No. He gets his belt off of him.
Oh my!
This is a 16-year-old girl, by the way. Right. I mean, this is practically an adult, for Christ's sake. And begins to beat her unmercifully with the belt.
Wow.
Whipping her. She's running from him from room to room. He's chasing her, beating her with a belt. Okay. My. She says, I'll let her say it in her own words here, quote, he got up from his chair, took off his belt, and beat me from the living room to the dining room to the bathroom.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. So Penny attempted to intervene. Because this is horrifying and
in a low
fucking
voice.
Yeah. This is horrifying. So she tries to calmly, I suppose, tell him, excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me, Ronald. At this point, he became twice as enraged because now they're all against me.
Right.
Now they're all against me.
In my own house.
In my own house. You're disobedient. You're filing fucking tax returns like some kind of upstanding citizen. I can't have any of this, right? He's losing his mind, beating his daughter. So Penny tries to get into the bathroom to stop this beating, and he wouldn't let her in, wouldn't let her into the bathroom there. So she was trying to help after the beating happened. She was trying to help Darlene, and Darlene said, quote, "He said not to touch me. He said I didn't deserve any help."
Oh, my God.
So, leave her there to, tend to her own belt wounds.
Right.
Holy fucking shit. This is a nice guy, huh?
I'd like to know what made him so mad.
She didn't I don't know what could cause you to react like that, but it's not you filed a tax return because you worked at fucking Hardee's for 2 months. Like, that's crazy, man.
It's life. He's angry. He's a mad man.
A fucking angry man, dude. A bad, bad man here. So he ends up after that. He's so mad that his wife's trying to help his daughter here that he tells his wife and daughter that I'm going back to Ohio to work now. If you're both not out of the house by the time I get back from Ohio, whenever that might be, I'll fucking kill you both. Okay? Wow. That's his threat. So
an ultimatum, right?
Yeah, get the fuck out of the house, even though you pay the bills and work. And this is just a mind fuck, the whole thing for these poor people, these Darlene and Penny. So Darlene and Penny took this shit seriously.
Yeah.
They've looked in his eyes. They know he's capable of anything. He just beat his daughter for nothing from room to room. So he's capable of anything. So with the help of some family members, who ends up being Ronald's sister, Ronald's other daughter, and other family members of his, they know how crazy he is and how much of an asshole he is. So they help them get out of the house and find them another place to live.
Nice.
Quickly, okay? And also, Penny ends up getting a restraining order against him as well.
Okay, so she's doing everything right.
She's doing everything she can do here. So they initially stayed with Ronald's sister and Ronald's brother-in-law, who kept them secretly in hiding. No one knew where they were. They
Jews in the World War?
Yeah, they Anne Franked them in the back of some West Virginia house. So
fascinating.
Yeah, hid them. So after a short period, though, this is so they could find their own place. After a short period of time, Penny and Darlene moved into a house. The address is 203 Sunrise Avenue in Beckley, and this is owned by Ronald's mother and stepfather. So, okay, now all of the relatives of his are all concerned for the women's safety.
Yeah,
both of them. They're all concerned.
They know what he's capable of.
Yes, so much so that Ronald's own sister and brother-in-law gave Penny a .22 revolver for protection.
And a weapon.
Keep this in case he comes for you. Which I don't remember Anne Frank being armed after that. Keep this in case those Nazi fucks come for you. And then you just open fire and mow them down. That would have been a great ending to that story. And then she shot 7 Nazis on the way out, fled to the docks, hopped on a boat. Now she lives in Baltimore, where she's owned a cafe for the last 48 years. That would be a great end to that story, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, it didn't end like that for poor Anne Frank. So anyway, they give her 22, and they also said, switch cars with us. The sister said, you drive my car so he doesn't even see your car and doesn't know where you are. This will throw him off the scent a little bit. This is nuts.
Yeah.
They have to, who is this? This is what you do if the fucking mafia was after you and wanted to blow your car up or something.
Or the feds.
Yeah, the feds, or, say any one of these, a large organization that can reach out and kill you, but not some dipshit steelworker. So, not that he's a dipshit because he's a steel worker. He's a dipshit and a steel worker, completely separate of each other. So, they would hide her car in the garage, basically, so it looked like who knows where she is. She could have disappeared. Right. Now, Brenda, who is his daughter from the first marriage, who's 23 at this point, she called her father later on, quote, said he was, quote, full of hate and he didn't know how to handle those feelings.
Okay.
Like dumb people often get that.
Right,
There's sir, I don't know why I'm so angry. Well, because you can't explore your own. You don't have the intellect to delve into that is the problem there a lot of times. A lot of times it might be chemical. But
they pay people a lot of money to help you sort through that.
That's the thing. And when you don't, and you just instead, hang out West Virginia, drink and, beat the shit out of your daughter with a belt. It doesn't get better.
No.
Take it out on your family. Exactly. So she even said to other people that she was willing to have her help get her father committed if that would do the trick.
Put him in an asylum.
If that would protect Penny, then she would do it. And she believes always, she tells people that he needs help, but she doesn't think he's insane. She's like, he's not insane, but he's fucked up, basically. He needs some help. She said, quote, my dad knows every move he makes. So that's her thing here. Yeah. Very aware. So anyway, he gets back from Cleveland.
Okay.
And he realizes they have left the house as instructed.
As he asked, yeah.
But unfortunately for him, he's very upset that they're not like homeless and sleeping under a park bench here.
Oh, he wanted to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, he's very, very angry that his family has helped harbor them because somebody in the family said, look, you don't need to find her. We helped her and she's out of the, don't talk to her, leave her alone. He was like, oh, they're all against me now. Like, he's been waiting for a conspiracy.
It's not just under my own roof.
Yeah, he's been waiting for a conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like, he's just been waiting for it. He's like, and then the Greys came down. Did I ever tell you the Egyptians are really aliens? I got a long story to tell you. Like, he's got into full-blown conspiracy theory. And at a family gathering, he, quote, threatened to kill all of them.
The whole fam.
I will kill you all because you helped her. Hold on, I got to get a pen. You know what? Hold on, you fucking sit right there. I'm going to, Jenny, Carl. I see you, Carl. Don't try to fucking run from me, motherfucker. I'm putting you on the list, buddy. Tommy, where you at? You're fucking dead. That's right, buddy. Carolyn, I'm going to fucking kill you after. Right out. I'm going to schedule you, slide you in between Tommy and Jenny. I'm going to slide you in there. I feel like that'd be the best place to kill you. All right, that's good. We'll get with times and we'll work on the scheduling and everything. But
I really hope this is like a Skidmore episode.
He's
how is he not the town asshole that everybody hates?
They do. He's just gone so often. Nobody in town notices him. Only his
Just
family notices when he pops in terror. I think if he stayed there for a long time, it would be like Skidmore. They'd all rise up against him. That's the last Patreon episode, by the way, was in Skidmore, where the whole town killed a guy and then just said, I didn't see nothing.
What are you talking about?
It was awesome. So anyway, I will kill all of you, whole family, one shot, dead, wipe you out. So this is in mid-March of 1988, not 2008. This is when he finally finds out where they're hiding.
Oh, boy.
He puts two and two together of, well, it's my family hiding them. Where could they be hiding them? Well, they own a house. Maybe it's there.
Right.
It's one of those. By the way, he is staying the next street over this whole when in town.
Not a big move.
So, yeah, because they're gone. He ends up like staying with his uncle or some shit, like a street up, even though he has a house. I don't understand what's going on. So he's nuts. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
So he would then show up frequently and obviously completely uninvited, as a matter of fact, in violation of a restraining order.
Right.
Just show up attempting to get Penny and Darlene to come back to him.
Oh, my God.
What do you think that was like, Jimmy? Was that...
boy.
Like,
We've
talked about this. I can't remember what episode it was, but we've talked about this recently where a guy's just a horrible guy. Then he's like, come back to me, please.
Yeah,
like
he's just loudly yelling.
Shows up on bended knee, just fucking, singing like some fucking 80s song showing up. I learned all the words to that Stevie B song that y'all like to fuck to, and I think I'm going to sing it to you.
This was loud and boisterous, and things were thrown.
He's out on the front lawn. He's like, hey, Penny, you fucking bitch. Come back to me and bring that ne'er-do-well fucking no good, ungrateful fucking twat kid with you too. Bring him. Come back to me, you fucking bitch. Come on. Like I'm trying to romance you. That's not okay, I don't think.
No.
It's not going to be successful probably. So anyway, he would show up. They wouldn't come back to him, okay? So he started telling everybody in his family, also his friend Glenda, who's given the magazines to and all that, and told about this poor woman has to hear all sorts of terrible things from this guy. Why are you still friends with this guy? Right after, I shot and raped my first wife. I don't think we're friends anymore at that point.
She has got to be just like her namesake, the Good Witch of the East.
That's
the kindest person on earth. North.
North.
I thought it was the East.
No, Wicked Witch of the West.
The West, Good Witch of the East.
I don't know why I thought she was the Good Witch of the North, though.
I don't know. Maybe that's her sister.
I'm sure they're all related somewhere, Jimmy. These magical powers don't grow on trees. So this poor woman, though, has to hear, if someone tells you I raped and shot my first wife, I'm busy for lunch from now on, right? Like, we're not.
Don't holler. I'm changing my number.
We're not pals anymore, really. No. I don't think we're not into the same shit, is what I'm getting at. We're probably just because we both like, West Virginia football doesn't mean that we're buddies.
Our free time is spent entirely different outside of football season.
That's outside of football season, obviously. Well, and of course when NASCAR's on, but other than that, different. So he told Glenda, in addition to all of his family, that he feels like he should probably kill his wife. Okay. He said, I'm going to kill her. Even if I have to go to the penitentiary for it, it's worth it.
Oh, boy.
It's worth it, because how dare she do exactly what I told her to do?
Even if
How dare she be run from her own home of 20 years just like I told her to do? How dare she do that? She should have stuck around where I threatened to kill her if she stayed there. Right. Duh. Jesus, it's like these people don't want to survive. That's how this guy thinks.
Be so obedient when I threw her out for being disobedient.
Yeah. That's how this fucking psycho thinks, though, really. Right. Like, it's nuts, man. I just want to be able to pull you back and forth at will and see how it goes.
Right.
That's all. So, May 9th, 1988, okay? Darlene has a boyfriend named Chris Ward, okay? Yeah. And so he's there as well. We got Chris, we got Darlene, we got Penny at the house hanging out.
At
the Sunrise Avenue house. Yeah, the Sunrise Avenue house. And here comes Ronald showing up, pounding on the door.
Oh, boy.
This isn't a friendly knock. This is, let me in, motherfuckers. It's, Big Bad Wolf style. Yeah, I'm a huff and puff out here. So Darlene says, quote, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I was afraid not to let him in because he might break down the door and get even madder and hurt me.
Right.
Terrifying. Yeah, this guy's terrifying. So this is not abnormal. He shows up all the time too. So she said, though, before March, Darlene said before March, he had never threatened to kill her before. That was the first time that ever came up. She, I guess, at one point, she saw him beat her sister, who's an adult at this point. She's married. He's beating an adult married woman. Like, that's fucking insane.
Where's her husband?
That's what I mean. Where's anybody?
Shit out of this guy.
Somebody, Jesus Christ. So anyway, she said that at that point, because she saw that he threatened to kill her if she said anything. Uh-huh. Okay, so now this particular day, Brenda and her husband had been at the house, and when they left, that's when he showed up, right as they were leaving. Okay, so they got out of there because they didn't want to be a part of whatever was going to happen here, but they were also worried, so they stopped somewhere else, and Brenda called the house back to talk to her mom here, talk to Penny. And she said, I just had a real bad feeling. I didn't know what it was. So she called Penny, talked to Penny for a couple minutes, and that was that. So whatever. Everybody's sitting at the table at one point here. Darlene and Chris kind of go off to the side, and then Penny and Ronald are sitting at the table together at the kitchen table. And we know, God forbid, she better not be doing taxes on there. That will be the end of it.
Not a single 1099 or...
I see a W2 in here. I will kill everybody up in this son of a bitch. So at this point, at some point he stands up, and he doesn't give a lot of indication of what he's doing. He's not angry. He's not yelling and screaming, which is for him weird if he's angry. So he's the type of guy that the volcano's erupting because you see lava. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not smokeless coal There's a lot of smoke before there's that fire. So for him, unless he's yelling and screaming, nobody really gets too worried. You know what I mean? They all kind of think, oh, well, at least he's calm for a minute now.
Right.
Well, this was a different kind of calm, apparently, because he pulls out a .25 caliber pistol and shoots Penny in the face with it.
Oh, boy.
Once in the face, once in the neck, once in the chest.
Oh, my God.
The one from the neck travels down, goes into her chest again, tears a bunch of shit up, and kills her. Okay?
God damn it.
He then turns, Darlene and Chris are there, and he just walks out. Doesn't shoot them, doesn't say anything to them, doesn't do shit. Shoots her a bunch of times, she falls. All right, well, that was that. Walks out, gets in his truck, drives to his uncle's house on the next street, and tells his uncle, oh, I shot my wife. You should probably call the police. Meanwhile,
nice person of the world?
The legally adjudicated nice person.
Wow.
She's known as a, legally nice person has been murdered. No reason.
Yeah.
Never even raised her voice. There wasn't an argument. She's just literally sitting at a table at a house that she had to go to because her husband threatened to kill her if she stayed in her other house. No getting away from this. I mean, she had every precaution you can have.
Yeah.
Jesus, she got help from other people. She moved. She's armed. There's people around her. She called the cops. She got, you know what I mean? And he's like a fucking rhino. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. You can't stop him.
It's nuts. Hell is this guy's problem?
He's a fucking maniac. So his uncle calls the police and goes, you asshole, what'd you do that for? Jesus Christ. And they all love Penny. They all think she's great, obviously. So the police show up and they find her dead in the kitchen. She's just laying there dead. That's it. This is, by the way, 10 a.m. this is.
In the morning.
This is 10 a.m.
We're not talking.
She didn't have a whole day to get fired up about it and get all liquored up at the bar and then come over here. So it's 10 a.m. We
should be having Bloody Marys right now.
Yeah, so people are in robes and shit. This is ridiculous. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So he ends up, he's arrested. The cops show up at his house there, his uncle's house on the next street.
Yeah.
Take him into custody. No questions asked. Yep, no problem. Here we go.
Yeah.
He just fucking walks off with them, and that's that. And they arrest him. So they search through the house, and what they do find here is in Penny's purse, they find a document.
Oh.
This poor fucking woman. It's what's known as a holographic will. You know what that is?
No.
I had to look it up. It's a handwritten signed document that is an alternative to like a legally produced lawyer will. Some states don't recognize them. Some states do. Some states recognize the intent of what it is. Basically, if you wrote a thing and signed it, that was your intention. That's your will. Some states, it has to go through the lawyer who does this and that, and it's a whole other process. So
it's a why they call it holographic?
Holographic?
As if
I don't know.
Because it's your own writing? I don't know. Whatever.
When I read it, I was like, holographic? Whoa, what is it? Like, you can't see it? It's like a will you hide from people unless you, like, turn it a certain way into the light, and then it all shows up? Like, this is crazy, man.
You gotta lay it flat and look at it, and the letters stand up.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is going to be like, I got to get one of those. That sounds awesome. Carry it around in my pocket. Check this out. Pow! Holographic will. So, so that's what she had in her purse. Okay? She's had this. It is dated. This is May 9th, 1988. Yeah. It is dated March the 17th, 1988, which is right after he came, terrorized everybody, beat the daughter, and kicked them out, okay? And it says in her handwriting, quote, last will and testimony of Virginia Bennett.
Oh, Jenny.
Quote, if I'm killed, my husband did it.
Well, there's that.
If I die, I don't under any condition want an open casket. No wake, no funeral, just a private burial with my family only. To my family and kids, I love you. I've done no wrong. Take care of each other and stick together. This is a woman who knows she's going to be murdered. This is fucking terrifying. Oh, where could she go? The moon? Like, this is fucking crazy. Together with love and God, you can overcome anything. Don't grieve for me.
What
That's why she's considered legally nice.
Yeah.
Just don't even. I don't want you to be sad. I'll be sad.
Yeah.
Wow. All I ever asked God for was to live to see you kids grown. God granted me my prayer. I can't bargain for more. She's not even upset she's going to be murdered. That's how nice she is.
Your daughter's 16. She's not even grown.
Well, in West Virginia, that's over the hill, I think.
That's elderly. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, well, how many kids you got? And you're like, I'm 16. They're like, how many kids you got?
All right.
Fuck. No, this is horrifying. This is one of the saddest things I've ever read in my life. She knows this is going to happen to her, telling everybody what's going to happen, and then saying, don't worry about me. I'm good. I lived long enough, basically. Wow. She's 42.
Been a fruitful life.
Long enough. I'm good. I just got to see my kids grow up. That's all I really need out of life. What a fucking horrible goddamn thing to find. Jesus Christ. So the funeral was private services, so no visitation. They did what she asked, which is, I'm happy that they respected her wishes. Yeah. I really hate when people have like wishes that they want and people don't do it.
When they trample on it, yeah.
That happens a lot. People want a specific kind of funeral of like a quiet thing or whatever, and they're like, no, they just said that. They would have wanted this instead. I'm going to do it like this.
Being humble.
Stop doing that. Yeah. Do respect someone's wishes, goddammit. If they want you to just go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal and then go home, do that. Just do what they say. They're dead. Yeah. That's the last request you're going to fulfill for them. So that's that. Christ. So they arrest Ronald, like I said. He wants to get bonded out.
He wants to go home?
He's like, you should probably give me bond. And they were like, are you out of your fucking mind? They're like, no.
Casually Saturday night specialed your wife in the kitchen.
No problem.
Not even your house.
In front of witnesses, by the way. Yeah. After threatening her, oh, by the way, from beating your daughter and threatening to kill her and your whole family, we don't know if you're done yet at this point. You might have some more killing in you. So they go, you stick around here, buddy. Yeah. You're going to hang till the trial. So he sits around. 5 months later, he's evaluated by psychiatrists, okay? And he tells this doctor here, what is this doctor's name? Dr. Ahmed M. Fahim. He tells this guy that he frequently has trouble with his nerves. He went through crying spells and frequently suffers from insomnia. Well, join the fucking club, asshole. My nerves suck.
Friend.
I can never sleep, and yeah, sometimes you just got to get a good sob out. I don't know what to tell you. That's why for Jimmy, that's how that bathtub wine comes in handy.
Sometimes that's how the bath gets warm.
That's what I mean, man. That's adulthood, Chief. You're over 40, buddy. That's life, man. 43? Yeah, that sounds like 43. Trouble with your nerves? Crying spells? Insomnia? Yup. Call me back when both your knees hurt, motherfucker. There. Take that, asshole.
Light a candle, shut the door. That's it.
Yeah. You whiny bitch. What are you doing? He said that he would frequently pace for hours. Okay, yeah, me too. Joined the club and was snappy and grouchy and irritable. Check. And considered suicide. Okay, I don't want to do that. But all the rest of those, fine.
Those are all the reasons sometimes my kids don't like the weekends over here.
Exactly. That's it. Dad couldn't sleep, so he's having a crying spell. He's all snappy and grouchy and irritable today. I think he's having trouble with his nerves.
Friday was grouchy. Exactly Saturday, we didn't see him for 3 hours. Sunday, he smiled again.
Weird, huh?
It's because I had a bath on Saturday, you dumb fuck.
That's right. Needed that wine. Those crying bouts are what get me centered again, sir. So he said the problems increased about 6 months before the shooting. It all just started getting to a head in his mind here. He couldn't do it. They did a standardized IQ test for him, and they found him, quoting from court documents, intelligence quotient near the range of mildly retarded. But Fahim said depressed patients frequently score lower than they normally would on such examinations.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, maybe a little bit lower, but not smart guy. Oh no, your IQ is Forrest Gump. It's not that bad. You drop 10 points maybe, but not the fucking, you could be shit hammered drunk and you would get a better score than that if you were at a average IQ,
Sometimes my emotional distress might slow me down a little bit, but on average, I'm the average dummy.
That's what happens. So they said, though, despite his his relatively low IQ, they are definitely capable of understanding what's wrong behavior in clear-cut situations. I think he knew it was wrong based on everyone in his life telling him that.
I think he knew that it was bad behavior because he did it as a punishment, which is, bad behavior ends up being punishment.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, he also thought nothing of just telling random women that he knew horrible things. Like he has no impulse control, which doesn't mean he's incapable of controlling himself, but he's got to concentrate extra hard. I don't feel like he does. So they said that, quote, in gray areas such as parking tickets, speeding tickets, and maybe some mild shoplifting, they might have trouble. Yeah. But not murder. You understand that there shouldn't be a bullet hole in your wife's forehead, probably.
And 3 indicates you had a purpose for your fucking one shot. You know what I mean? I understand that you can attempt and purposely wound somebody with one shot, but not in the fucking head. And
not again and again.
Right. And about the chest and neck, that's 3 shots that are certainly mean more than just fuck you.
Those are lethal. And that's brutal. So they said, though, that he might have had some impaired social judgment, but this one psychiatrist said he would not have been unable to conform his actions to legal requirements to recognize the wrongfulness of his behavior. So that's the state's doctor here, is this guy. Now, the Fahim guy is the other one that he said I have all these problems to. That's his psychiatrist. This person examined him, Fahim here, 5 months after the shooting, and he says that the history he took from Ronald himself was extremely important in making his diagnosis and forming the opinion that at the time of the shooting, Ronald was suffering from mental illness which rendered him incapable of understanding and appreciating the wrongfulness of his act or even conforming his actions to the law. Said that much of that self-reported history dealt with his behavior prior to the shooting. They said that prior to the shooting, in the weeks before, he kept having spells of crying and breaking down. This is all what, by the way, Ronald just told him 5 months later. So, you have 5 months to sit around and think about this shit is a long time. He said that he'd had difficulty sleeping and eating. He had suicidal thoughts, and he even heard voices.
Oh, boy.
That's the one right there. Yeah. If you're gonna plead insanity, you got to hear voices, man. That's the... Well, that's the only way. Like, you're schizophrenic. You're that's the only way you can be delusional and not know what's going on. The voices told me to do it. Yeah, no, it's a thing, and blah blah blah. That's outside of that, you're not getting off anymore. You know.
Yeah, but and you can be a sane person and hear them if you don't sleep. And he's had trouble sleeping, so
yeah,
you know what I mean. That's a possibility. I've heard them, and they're it's psychotic, and
we're on the road half the time.
Yeah, it melts your brain when you hear them.
Yeah, most of the time you see me live, I'm hearing voices. So be careful out there, everybody.
It is horrifying to hear, but sometimes it happens, and I'm not crazy. I'm certainly a sane person. I know right from wrong, but I too many people think that shit is just only the crazy hear them. No, man, it's when your brain's too tired.
Everybody isolate that for further use, just in case something happens here. We want to have that. It's easier because the courts are going to take them forever to go through all the episodes. So just go find that, get it out, make it easier for everybody.
Crazy.
No, I'm certainly not crazy. I hear voices, but I can understand right from wrong. All right, then.
I mean,
no, you're up for 3 days. You hear voices.
Crazy. I'm out. I'm off my rocker.
I mean, I'm crazy. I tell you, crazy.
Let me out.
So he told Ronald told Fahim here that Penny told her that they were going to get back together, but he had to see a doctor before she would go back to him.
Yeah.
She wanted him to get evaluated for, crazy time shit. Yeah. So
shit you're doing your family isn't okay.
He would show up, you come back to me. She would say, go see a doctor. He would say, get pissed off and be more forceful with you come back to me. Yeah. So it kept going around in a circle like that. And the more she would say it, the angrier he would get.
Sure.
And that's what happened. So he said that before he knew what happened, he just shot his wife. He didn't even know he was going to do it. I mean, he took a gun over there and everything, but he didn't know. He says that he remembers seeing blood, and he blacked out. I mean, you know how it is when you shoot your wife.
Yeah,
you black out. He said he knows he shot her because he remembers seeing blood, and he thinks he may have held her for a while as well. He didn't, by the way. No. He shot her and walked out of the fucking house. So he also reported to the psychiatrist that even within 2 months of her death, in the 2 months after the death, that before the death, I'm sorry, that he kept being told, she kept telling him that he needed medical help and all this type of shit. But she said that he said that he thought that she thought he was crazy, so that was making him angry.
Because so he's trying to say she made me angry. So, and he's couching it like he put down a 14-year-old golden retriever with cancer.
Yeah, pretty much.
What the fuck?
And then he said, "Did you read her statement? She said she's good. She said don't grieve for me. She's fine. So what are we even talking about? She was happy to die. Like, that's yeah. I'm practically Kevorkian over here. It was just voluntary. No,
couldn't even stand up anymore.
This poor woman just needed a life, man. You needed to get away from him so she could have a life. So." Anyway, Fahim, though, he thinks that that he's not capable of understanding and not accountable for his actions.
Right.
So the circuit judge in this case orders that he be taken to a hospital to be evaluated also. And they also delay the trial so he can get a CT scan and all these neurological examinations to see if he's got like brain tumors or something. So if he's hearing voices, who knows? So the judge also orders all this type of shit. And it's weird, too, because they like close it down to the press as well. The press are allowed to be there, but they're not allowed to report what happens. And it's really weird. Like in the beginning, he doesn't let the details out. It's a very strange case here. So Darlene, somehow through all of this, while her father's awaiting trial, she enrolls at Marshall University, starts going to college. So
really?
Good for you, Darlene. I don't know how the fuck you can put that all together after that, because I couldn't figure out a college application when no one was murdered before me. So
honestly, yeah.
Good for you. I mean, wow. The trial comes up, 6-man, 6-woman jury. He's going for an insanity defense here. His attorney, Warren A. Thornhill III, said it's an undisputed fact that he killed his wife. We know that. Okay. He did say, though, that 2 psychiatrists are going to say that he suffers from severe depression and is not legally accountable for his actions that day. So we're good. And he walks away. First up, they're talking about his family members. Apparently, he brings up several of Bennett's family on the stand to talk about the family's medical history. and his medical history, specifically mental problems. His mom, Thelma Faye Pyatt, P-Y-A-T-T, brought up they bring up to her a lengthy list of people on both sides of the family who had committed suicide.
Oh boy.
So she said that some of the dozen or so mentioned weren't blood related, and a few of them were distant relatives. So there is some suicides, but we're not like the Von Erich family or anything over here. So an uncle of his, Garland Plumley, he said that he talked about all those people, and he said they bring up the ancestors here, and he said that he's talked about his Grandpa Plumley, who, quote, came over on a boat. And he said, now he was a good man. Now his wife was a Keller, and I'm told she was hell on wheels. And they're like, this is not, literally they had to stop and go, this isn't old-timey, folksy, fucking, small town tales here. Get to the point of what we're talking about. He was up there just spinning yarns about generation.
You don't need to have character evolution. Let's just talk.
Grandma Plumley was hell on wheels. Who gives a shit?
Don't give a fuck.
Don't care. And everyone in the court laughed because they were just like, this is hilarious. This guy is funny as shit. So Glenda Willis gets up there. And by the way, in court, it is not introduced at all and not supposed to be introduced that he shot and raped his ex-wife. Okay?
Why can't we talk about that?
I don't know. It's out. It's out of the judge rules ahead of time. Pretrial things are what's in and what's out. So this judge ruled that's out. Okay, it's too inflammatory. Okay. So Glenda Willis says she's known him for 17 years. The question to her is, the difference was that never before in 17 years had you heard him say he was going to kill anybody. Isn't that right? Is that true? And she said, do I have to tell the truth?
Oh.
The judge says, you've been asked to do so and sworn to do so, so yes, ma'am, tell the truth. To sit in a witness stand after you just swore and then ask the judge, do I have to tell the truth, might be the dumbest thing, even in this whole story, which is saying something. So the defense attorney says, is the truth different from what you told us a while ago? And she said, Ronnie Bennett told me that an incident happened, she corrects herself, in 1967. And he says, now that isn't responsive to the question. She says, you asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it or do you not? You asked me, had he ever mentioned killing someone in my home? And the lawyer says, I certain, and she cuts him off. Do you want me to answer it or not?
Do you want to hear about this?
This is a great day in court, man. I want to be here for this. This is fun. Tales of hillbilly fucking families and this lady arguing. And he says, I want, and she just cuts him off and says, he talked about his first wife and he talked about how he shot his first wife. She wanted a divorce. She wanted his children. He wasn't going to let her have them. He told me that he shot his wife. He told me that he raped his wife. He told me he drove and drove and drove with her in the car with him and that he decided he'd have himself a beer. And when he finished the beer, he was going to finish her off. He said, and then the police came and put a gun to his head before he could finish it.
Wow.
So eventually, the defense asks for a mistrial, and the judge says, "You fucking asked her it. This isn't the prosecution. It's you got it out of her. You can't get information out of somebody that isn't allowed and then get a mistrial for your own client. That's not how this works. Everybody would just do that.
We weren't going to allow it, but you made it. You forced it on us."
The prosecutor said, "Quote: I've never seen such a long line of inviting questions. Like you just asked for it, man." The defense attorney said that he had no way of knowing what was coming because when Willis was asked the first time, she said she never heard him make such statements. So he then said, I wasn't going to tell the witness not to tell the truth. So they went back and back and back, and they said, okay, we're going to not have a mistrial, but just jury disregard that statement. How do you disregard that he raped and shot his first wife? How do you disregard that?
Attempted murder. I'll go ahead and delete that from the memory.
Wow. The judge said that's like asking you to ignore the snorting red-eyed elephant that's been trumpeting around before you. But still,
all right.
Try it, okay? So no mistrial or any of that shit. They get oh my God, this is Glenda Willis's testimony after that. When there was an incident once where a paper girl was killed in our hometown. Paper girl? What is that?
Oh, a girl that delivers the paper.
Oh, paper girl. Yeah, like someone who throws papers. I'm like a paper girl. Like I pictured like those fashion cutout things. I'm like, paper girls. What the hell is that about? And one of the men was on trial, and one was taken over to Mexico, and they couldn't bring him back. And Ronald was talking about how people could just say they were crazy and walk out of a courtroom and do it again.
Oh.
So basically what he's talking about. She also said that to her, he's never displayed any signs of mental illness. He seems like he's fine. He knows what he's doing. Dr. Fahim says absolutely crazy as crazy can be.
Sure.
He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm sure he didn't tie his own shoes today. Just
okay.
batshit cuckoo bananas. So he found that depression was associated with psychotic features that concluded with him not being criminally responsible. Under cross-examination, prosecution's trying to, crack through this. The prosecutor takes an article from the September 1985 issue of the American Journal of Psychiatry, and which discussed the American Medical Association's position that the insanity defense was not a valid medical and psychiatric defense. But it is all a legal defense, so you can't. That's not really. So anyway, there's more objections, more calls for mistrials, and all this type of shit. They said that he argues that a psychiatrist who testifies there's a general agreement in the scientific community as to the validity of an insanity defense based on psychiatric's post-diction. Basically, it came out of the book, so it's fine. And then the judge said, yeah, whatever, it's fine. So the state psychiatrist said, he's just an asshole. That's all there is.
Yeah.
He said that he's a dick. He's a bit of a twat. I don't really care for him. He's certainly not crazy. He's like crazy in the terms of that guy's a crazy son of a bitch, but not legally crazy. You know what I mean? So that ended up going on. The closing arguments, prosecutor says that she says Dr. A.D. Fahim, a Beckley psychiatrist, testified Wednesday that Bennett's depression kept the defendant from realizing the wrongfulness of his action. But Dr. Richard Snyder, a Marshall University professor who examined Bennett at the hospital, said the defendant had the capacity. So Dr. Fahim testified that if the kitchen had been full of police officers, Bennett still would have shot his wife. And they said, first of all, our police are quicker draws than that. Second of all, he waited until two witnesses left to do it. Well, he still shot him with two more there, though, so whatever. According to the police testimony, Bennett was not disoriented or confused when they arrested him following the statement, following the shooting. Listen to the statement. He said, I shot her, call the police. He didn't say call the sports editor at the Beckley Registered Herald. He knew what he was doing, is what she's saying. Yeah. She said, I told you in the beginning, we never contend the man who has committed a first-degree murder is normal or a well-adjusted person. If he were, he would not have murdered. But listen to the definition. Very important. It is not, was he mentally healthy or mentally ill? It is this. In order for you to excuse this, you must find that first degree that this killing of Virginia was caused by a mental illness, such a degree of mental illness that this man does not have the capacity, not have the ability to know that it's wrong to kill. So that's the thing. They said the only insanity in this trial is Dr. Fahim's testimony.
Oh, that's crazy.
Well, you don't put that on your business card, I don't think. Jesus. She said it's been said many times by the defense lawyer that many people don't like the insanity defense, and perhaps one of the reasons people don't like the insanity defense is because, as Mr. Bennett told his friend Glenda, everyone knows you can buy a psychiatrist to say you're crazy, and then the other side buys a psychiatrist. Dr. Fahim may be fine in treating people or prescribing medicine, but I submit to you that upon all of his testimony, he's unbelievable. He is an example of why the American Medical Association urges that the insanity defense be abolished.
Is that what they're doing?
There's objections now. At the time, it was an article from 3 years earlier.
Okay.
It's not like that was a campaign they had. There was an article in a journal like 3 years earlier that goes, maybe that's bullshit, and then they forgot about it. So she says, and of course the same AMA and the American Psychiatric Association, by the way, Dr. Fahim, he first had to admit, yes, was an authoritative statement made by the AMA. So there's all of that. So anyway, they said, the prosecutor said, do not turn this into a war between Dr. Snyder and Dr. Fahim. If you want, you can ignore all of them. You could agree with the AMA and say none of them should be up here because we have the people who saw the defendant on May 9th, 1988. They can tell you if he was fucking crazy or not. The defense attorney's got a lot of balls. He says he doesn't disagree that Virginia Bennett had cried out for help. He also said family members had responded by giving her guns, money, and helping her move. He said that the fact that many family members testified that Ronald's behavior had not changed in the months before the murder indicated that they were still unwilling to admit anything was wrong with Ronald. He then says, I think there might be enough blame to go around for the whole family. No, actually, the whole family tried to hide her from him, one guy. No.
They gave her a gun. No wonder she got shot. Is that what they're saying?
They tried to hide her. They should have just told her to do what he wanted. Then she'd be alive right now. Like, that's what he's saying, basically. That is fucking wild. He also says, if Dr. Snyder would lie about something like dictating the report, can you trust him in anything else in this case? There was a very small thing about, did he physically dictate the report that he took to somebody else, and he thought he did and he didn't. So they were like, ha-ha, liar. He didn't remember who did paperwork 6 months ago, so he's a liar. Also, they said that Bennett was prescribed antidepressants and tranquilizers prior to his evaluation by the hospital team, so they didn't see him in his normal state of depression. So if they wouldn't have medicated him, then they'd say he's crazy. But they medicated him, so obviously there. He said, we could talk for days about how horrible it was, and that's not disputed. He said that you might not like the insanity defense, but it's the law, so go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
The jury instructions, though, the jury is instructed that the testimony of Glenda Willis referring to the shooting of a previous wife of Ronald Bennett should not be considered. He even said that at the end, the judge.
Yeah.
Verdict comes in, 1 hour of deliberation.
That's quick.
That is filling the paper out, literally. You sat down, you took a vote, and you went, all right, fill it out, done.
Yeah.
1 hour, they return a verdict of guilty of murder in the first degree without a recommendation of mercy.
Oh.
So that means with recommendation of mercy means that they would like him to get life with parole. Without means they'd like him to get life without parole. And the judge now decides what they're going to give based on that, recommendation.
Yeah.
They also concluded the crime was committed with a firearm, which it was, which is extra.
Yeah.
Sentencing comes around. The judge says, you, sir, may fuck off, life without parole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need any more of you. Thank you, sir.
Forevers.
Don't need you. If there's a hole we could put you in and just cover it up with some plywood.
Not a bad idea.
Have a fat guy sit on a big chair on top of it so you can't get out. We would do that. That's literally where we're at right now with you.
Small hole. We just drop blueberries in there for you.
The little tiny hole. We push them through. There was some Cheerios we shoved down there through
raisins.
a tube.
You're getting very small foods forever.
That's it. Well, a fat guy sits up there and farts down the hole. You never know if it's going to be raisins or a fat guy fart. You never know what's coming in that hole. He farts in there, then he covers the hole up, so you have to smell it.
Not bad.
Not bad. No, that's punishment. So they asked the prosecutor, were you surprised, the press asked later on, that it only took, an hour to reach the verdict? Prosecutor said, it seemed that if they were intelligent people, and they all appeared to be, they would realize that this was the only possible verdict because the insanity defense was a piece of crap. The prosecutor said it was a piece of crap. That's her official statement on the Kristen Keller, the prosecutor. That's her official statement. Piece of crap. Moving on. Now he appeals this based on the fact that they were saying basically they were trying to impeach an expert witness without impeaching them. They're saying at the end that even though they're an expert witness and they're registered, taken as an expert witness, that they were trying to say that they're not an expert and they're a quack and all that kind of shit.
Sure.
The appeals court says, though, the cross-examination did not encroach upon a legal question, for the question placed before the expert involved whether the defense was medically and psychiatrically valid, not legally valid. So they say, you're good there. They also say that closing argument shouldn't have been able to put on because the prosecutor said that you can ignore all the doctors and agree with the AMA and say none of them would be up here. The appeals court said that would appear not only overzealous, but possibly violate a rule. However, a close review of the whole record of this case does not reveal that the prosecutor's closing argument was improper. Fuck you, affirmed.
Yeah.
So they send his ass back to prison, where he lingers, and sometime in the mid-90s, he becomes ill of some kind. I don't know if he has cancer or something. It lingers for years and years and years, breaking his body down like you soaked meat in vinegar, just breaking it the fuck down, breaking down the tendons.
Proving that smokeless is not safe.
Not safe. And on September 27, 2004, he dies in prison after a long illness.
Not bad.
Not a bad ending for that guy. That's exactly what you want for him. Yeah, that's way better than the death penalty.
Sure.
Like, people, even if you want, like we said, we're not huge death penalty guys, but even if you are enthusiastic and you're like, kill that motherfucker. If you had a choice of take him in, make him wait 15 years, take him in, give him lethal injection, or have him be deathly ill for 8 years and wither to nothing and die, which would you pick?
Pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good shit. So he's dead. Now, next story. Okay. This is fucking crazy, Jimmy. Buckle up, everybody. I don't even know what to say here. This is next level bonkers. Okay.
Buckle up.
Parkersburg, West Virginia, we have to go to for this, all right? Going back to the 60s here. June 8th, 1969. All right, now, there's a fire that day. About 1 a.m., a fire materializes on June 8th, 1969. It is customers at Jimbo's, which is a nearby drive-in takeout restaurant that's open late. Yeah. So customers at Jimbo's see flames materializing from a house, a 7-room house, and they, report the flames, and people try to go help and everything like that. The assistant fire marshal, was going to be there, investigate. Everybody's going to be there, okay? The house that's burning, lots of people live there. Let's talk about who lives there. Well, there's a lot of people. There's Charles and Ruby Bailey, who are married. He's 41, she's 36. Okay. And, they've been married a long time. They have 13 children together.
Oh, my God.
Oh, they're first cousins, by the way.
Oh.
They're first cousins. So if you wonder where that stereotype comes from, back there in West Virginia.
Change your last name. It's easy.
Yep. So they're first cousins. They're in a house. Like I said, there's 13 children. It's a wood and tar paper house, too. So it's the type that, boom, a tinderbox. It's going up fast. So in this, the people in the house, Charles and Ruby Bailey, their children, Nancy, 17. These are the people in the house. Patricia, 11, Claudia, 8, Mary, 7, Tim, 6, Debbie, 5, Steve, 3, Dale, 2, Ted, 1, Ricky, 6 months old.
Oh, my.
Oh, by the way, there's a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old as well. What do you think? They went from a 17-year-old to an 11-year-old without having any fucking kids? No. There's a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old as well. They're sleeping in one of the outbuildings while this is all going on.
There's another building.
Another building. They're sleeping in there. Probably because, there's that many people in the fucking house.
Fucking 15 people.
So that's Susie. She's 15. Young Susie. And what's her middle name? I have it here. Susie Jane there. And then her brother Roger, who's 13 as well. He's outside. Yeah. So, remember, what are all the names, Jimmy?
Oh, boy.
right.
Susie, Roger.
Susie, Roger.
Dale.
Charles, Ruby, Nancy, Patricia, Claudia, Mary, Tim, Debbie, Steve, Dale, Ted, Ricky. Okay. That's the people in the house.
It's basically every NASCAR driver's first name for the boys.
You can just, any starting row of a NASCAR race, that's that. Yeah. And then Grandpa Obi is here as well.
Oh, Grandpa Obi too?
Grandpa Obi, 63 years old. Jesus. O-B-I-E, that's his name. Obi Bailey. Obi Bailey, he's the grandfather and all of that. So that's the setting that we're at when this fire breaks out. 1 a.m. So rescuers, when they get there, it's such a fucking blaze because it's just wood and tar paper that it's burning so hot they're having a hard time getting close to it because of the heat. They even, as they're being driven back, there's a female inside pleading for help at a window, and they can't get to her. It's too hot. They have to watch this poor woman burn in a window. They just watch her burn.
Horrible.
It's fucking horrifying. They said that this is the fire lieutenant, William George, said most of the bodies were found near windows and doors, but they couldn't make it out of the house.
Wow.
This is fucking horrifying. What'll end up happening is everyone will die in the fire.
All of them.
Charles and Ruby and 10 of their children will die in the fire.
Unreal.
Susie, 15, and Roger, 13, that were in an outbuilding, they escape, and Grandpa Obi climbed out a window and escaped.
Grandpa Obi got out.
So that's it. Those are the only 3 living out of this entire thing. There's 3 people left.
Bitch.
Yeah, we started out with 13 to
Way
15. We started out with 16 people. Now we got 3.
Wow.
So this is fucking horrible. Jim Malone, who was an assisting fireman in pulling the hose, the fire was so hot it was burning the power lines and making them pop and snap.
Yeah.
One came down and fell and hit him on the fucking head.
Oh, God.
And zapped him, one of the firemen. And he was taken to the hospital, and he ended up surviving, thankfully.
Lucky.
But, I mean, he got fucking zapped by a power line. They must not have been that high tension or something. I don't know. It must have been some low levels.
Come down. They come down easy.
Yeah, they must have been some, I'm talking to not kill him. It must have been some low voltage or some shit.
Some secondary.
Yeah, some secondaries.
Not the distribution shit.
No. I feel like he would have been a cinder at that point. So, according to the chief fire inspector, Dale Pringle, I don't know why that sounds so right, but Dale Pringle sounds like he's got a big mustache too, doesn't it?
Big round head.
Yeah, big round head and a mustache and
cherry cheeks.
some chips that you can't quite reach. It's super white. He said that by the time the firemen were in sight of the fire, the house was totally engulfed in flames. He said that he made an effort to reach the people inside, but were driven back by the heat, which has to bite at you for the rest of your life. That's got to be horrible. This is the Lieutenant William George. This is his account of everything. Quote, when we arrived, the house was fully engulfed by flames. Police and about 30 bystanders had tried to rescue the occupants. I would say they were dead by the time we arrived. We still don't understand what happened. Most of the bodies were near windows and doors, but couldn't make it out of the house. In my 19 years of firefighting, this was the worst. Sergeant Selden Wiggle said in his 27 years, this was by far the worst in terms of lives lost.
Yeah, when your title is firefighter, that fire is the one that won. That one kicked the shit out of you.
That one beat everybody. That's undefeated, that one, man. Wood and tar paper. He said that the walls were left standing, but the interior was just completely destroyed. And we'll have pictures. They'll be on the social media of the actual house.
The whole inside of the house is gone.
The outside, you'll see it's just a charred mess. They said that half of the roof was burned away as well. He said they believe the fire started in the dining room, and at first they had no information as to what caused this, other than it started in the dining room, must have caught quickly. And they had only recently moved to the house as well. That's the other thing. They hadn't even been here that long. Yeah, hadn't even fucking been here that long. So they've been there a couple months. So this is horrible. The children who died, 17, 11, 9, 7, 5, 6, 4, 3, 21 months, 21 months, and 6 months. Those are the children who died.
That's 6 months is brutal, man.
That is fucking horrible. They said eventually they figure out that there was an accelerant in there of some kind. Yeah, they said there was an accelerant. One of the firefighters, who's also a Vietnam veteran who did multiple tours of duty.
That guy had to see this too, as if he's not fucked up enough?
This is a guy who's seen quite a bit, fighting fires and being in Vietnam, and he said, quote, that was a bad fire. He said when he responded to it, it was just horrible. He said, quote, when I rolled in, it was totally engulfed. He said he got out of his car, ran toward the house, and he realized there was people trapped inside, and he had no idea how many. He said, quote, there was a female in the back of the house screaming. I remember picking up this huge rock, which I probably couldn't pick up during normal circumstances. I threw it through the back of the house. He just threw it through he grabbed a fucking boulder and just chucked it through the wall.
Unbelievable.
Just get these people out of there, which, I mean, fuck, what else do you do? What do you do in that situation? Do you even
that's terrifying, because if you get a hole in that wall, you've now vented the fire too. So fire's going to come out of that hole. That's so scary.
But if you see people trying to get out, you just fucking
get out,
jump through the hole, I guess. So he said that, through the back of the house. He said the rock crashed through the wall, but the heat and flames were just too big. It just covered the hole right away. He said he could see a female inside, but there was nothing he could do to save her. He said the rickety structure didn't appear safe. He said, this is so sad. Quote, she was totally engulfed in flames.
Oh, God.
I couldn't get to her, and the back of the house started falling in. If you went in that house, she would have been dead. So he watched the house fall, like the roof fall on her, too, while she's engulfed in flames. They assumed that was Mrs. Bailey. She was an adult woman, they thought. So that is fucking horrible. This is so bad, too. Years later, one of the cops was talking about it, and he said, quote, everybody was fried. The baby was fried.
Jesus.
What a horrible thing to fucking say. Now, the rescuers find Charles Bailey's father, Obie, Grandpop Obie, as they call him, sitting outside. He said he had scrambled out a bathroom window, but nobody else could get out anywhere, which the cops are a little suspicious of here. They kind of they're like, Obie?
Yeah.
Are you, yeah, he told the people that the fire woke him up and he escaped by crawling out the bathroom window. They said the investigator said he was sitting in a chair near the flames when they showed up, making no effort to help the other people get out.
Doing nothing, just watching.
He was just sitting there.
It burn.
Yeah, just sitting there. He also reportedly gave investigators false information regarding his finances and other things that they were asking about, and insurances and things like that. So they all, not only the law, all of the relatives, everybody in town, they're all blaming Grandpa Obie.
Yeah, what the fuck,
they're like,
Obie?
Fucking Grandpa Obie sucks is what they were all doing. Yeah, they said Roger Bailey said, quote, later on, well, at the time he said, Roger is the 11-year-old, I believe. He said, quote, or 13-year-old, I'm sorry. Yeah. Quote, I'll bet $10,000 Grandpop didn't set that fire.
He didn't do it.
Grandpa wouldn't have done that. Not at all. So, hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Now, the children who escaped, Roger, like we just said, and Susie, who's 15, they were sleeping in a small outbuilding, and they were missing when the firemen showed up. They weren't there.
Oh, nobody could find them.
They ended up being at a relative's house. Later on that day, they found them at a relative's house. Yeah, I guess they ran away, whatever. So they have 3 surviving children anyway, an adult daughter named Judith, and Susie 15, and Roger 13. So there you go. Now, during this whole investigation, they see it's obviously arson. This wasn't an accident. They find an accelerant that they believe to be gasoline as well. Okay. So this is Roush is the investigator. They and the Pringle guy is there as well. Roush and Pringle. That's the two. It's the two guys you want on the case. Old Roush and Pringle.
I want that to be his nickname because he's got such bad rheumatoid arthritis. His hands are curled up like they could get in the can.
Yeah, like only I can. I needed a design that was most convenient for me.
They call him Pringle because he's the only guy that can get those last three.
Plunge it in without tipping the can, you know. Yeah. So they said they smelled gas around the house. They smelled gasoline. So they're like, that's not normal, obviously. And they diagnosed it as arson. Okay. They found burn patterns that suggested that it may have started in the dining room, but someone splashed gas all throughout the house.
Oh, shit.
To make sure it
that's
caught
not
quickly.
Good. Yeah.
No, that looks weird. Once again, Grandpa Obi there. Then one night, Roger Bailey now he's the one who said, I'll bet you $10,000 right. Grandpa Obi didn't do it.
Right.
He and his relative, who's over at a relative's house, Aunt Helen over here, sitting with Aunt Helen at the kitchen table, and I guess they talked for like 12 hours about the fire at the table.
Jesus.
Eventually, Roger says to her, quote, if you won't tell anyone, I'll tell you something about that fire.
Oh, tell me more, Raj.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
He explained, well, I did it and Susie did it.
What?
He said, it wasn't my idea. Susie, it was her idea, the 15-year-old. We were going to help, burn everybody. And they said, well, why would she want to do that? The reason why she wanted to burn her entire family to death is because her father told her that she wasn't allowed to see her boyfriend, John Baumgardner, who's 19 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
Not because he's 19 and she's 15, but because why? He's her first cousin, Jimmy. That's why.
Oh, my God.
But we're in love, Dad. He's your first cousin, and he's 4 fucking years older than her. Her response is, you're older than Mom, and she's your first cousin.
Yeah.
So they go back and forth about that, and it turns into a giant fucking thing. And that's what ends up happening. She decides
science works, dear. We're too close, and you're going to go and make your thing too close, and we're going to have children that we're going to have to always take care of forever and ever and ever.
Oh, Susie, by the way, IQ?
Yeah.
71.
Yeah, because
on Susie.
Because Mom
because her
and Dad,
parents are fucking first cousins. It's too close.
God
That's I mean, no offense to them. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Back then, I don't know if that was normal.
All
in the
offense
hills
to
of
them.
West Virginia,
No, it's not normal.
Well, they're dead, is what I'm getting at. We did say we weren't going to make fun of the victims or the victims' family. So, you know what? I'm going to put that aside for 1 second. Stop fucking your cousins. How about that? Don't fuck your first cousin. Don't fuck your second cousin. I'm going to go ahead and say, just to be safe, don't fuck your third cousin. How's that?
Out of your bloodline. It's weird and gross.
Yeah, that's all. If you introduce your fucking significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the fuck, to your family, and they go, oh yeah, we know Johnny. That's enough. No. we know his dad because it's my cousin. No.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. But she wants to fuck her cousin so bad.
Oh, God.
That she'll murder her entire family. Not just her parents.
Everybody.
Her infant baby fucking siblings as well. I don't know why she picked Roger to help her. Yeah, I guess because they slept in the other building. So anyway.
He's got the biggest mouth, that's for sure.
So they bring her into the station. They bring them both in. This aunt tells on them. They bring them into the station. This is after, so there's the fire. They go to a relative's house. Roger talks for 12 hours at the kitchen table with his aunt. Now, mind you, the fire happened at 1 a.m., so he's been up 12 hours. Then after that afternoon, which is 15 hours past the fire, 16 hours past the fire, they pick Roger and Susie up and take them to the police station and interrogate them all the way through the night until about 6 a.m. when they finally crack.
This is when you start hearing voices.
So, 6 a.m. from we're talking 30 hours.
Yeah.
29 hours they've been up, at least, from the fire. And before that, they were up, too, because they were up from the whole day, then set shit on fire. So they were up 3 days, probably, these kids at that point. So they end up, Susie writes a confession.
Yeah.
She says in her confession, quote, I told Roger that I was going to set the house on fire after they all went to bed. She said that she and her brother siphoned gas from their father's truck into a dishpan.
Oh, wow.
Dude, there wasn't even just an easily accessible 5-gallon
jerry can, yeah.
Yeah, in the garage
put it in
or something.
In the fucking punch bowl.
they had to get a bowl and then go out and siphon gas.
Wow.
And by the way, I love how a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old automatically know how to siphon gas pre-Google, by the way. They're just like, well, I mean, we saw Dad has us do it all the time or whatever. I don't know. So she ends up, they did that. It's in a dishpan. And she said they went around the house and quietly just sloshed it around places while everybody was asleep.
Like
she said,
punch ladle?
Yeah, just ladling it out.
Yeah.
I guess they were just doing it out of the bowl. They said,
wow.
Splash a little here, splash a little there. She said, I put gasoline into every room but the bathroom, and then she lit it by throwing a flaming paper bag through the window.
Wow.
And boom, the whole place went up like a fucking match. So she and Roger then fled. Where'd they flee to? The safety of her cousin's arms. That's
gross.
Now we're going to run away together because I burned my family to death. Oh, here's my little brother. He's going to watch.
The injections are gone.
What is everything's fine now. So she said that her motive was, she was mad.
Yeah.
She said, quote, if I did not stop seeing my boyfriend, her father warned he would have a warrant sworn out for his arrest. Because he's 19 and you're a sophomore. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah.
That's how that works. So it's not legal. It's also not scientifically or genetically okay. There's so many reasons why this relationship shouldn't take place. It's not even fucking funny.
The biggest one, chief among them, you're fucking related. No.
Yeah, that's all of that. So both of these kids, 13 and 15, are both charged as adults.
Wow.
With 12 counts of murder. Yeah. So 13-year-old for an adult is a stretch. It's just a stretch. It's just a real big stretch.
And he was led along because he's 13.
It wasn't his idea.
No.
He's not fucking his cousin.
No, he's not a murderer.
No.
He's just doing what his sister told him to do.
He's a dipshit, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely a dipshit. But whoever has this idea is fucking evil. This is some evil shit.
Yeah.
I will kill everybody. I don't even know what to say about that. So they said that she made certain statements, oral and written, engaged in certain acts of an incriminating nature at the scene. This is from the actual report here.
Yeah.
At the scene of the fire in connection with its cause and origin, and as a result of the information given by the defendant in the investigation, she was arrested on June 10th. So that's that next morning, like we said, and the counsel was appointed, blah, blah, blah. So problem is they're questioned long into the night, like we said. 6 a.m. June 11th is when they signed their confessions, which is so long. Neither of them had any sleep since the fire. Neither kid. Okay. So anyway, she's indicted in July of 1969. They both are. And she pleads not guilty to the charge. Okay.
Yeah.
Not guilty to 12 counts of murder. So they set a hearing date and all that. First of all, they examine her. They find out she has an IQ of 71, like we said, and her mental age, which, when they test her, is about 10 years and 4 months.
What's with the months?
I guess it's scientific. They can't just go, I don't know, around 10.
They can knock they have it down chart. To exact amount of months. That's
10 years, 4 months. Yeah. And that her reading ability is on about a 5th grade level.
Okay.
So she should be in about the 10th grade here. So that's not
bad.
good.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not good at all. So she reads like a 10-year-old who's in the 5th grade and has an IQ literally of Forrest Gump. So this is bad stuff.
Yeah.
Not good. So they do the pretrial hearings and all this shit. Now, her court-appointed attorney, Bob Black is his name, he files a pretrial challenge of her confession, arguing that they illegally coaxed the admissions out of a hungry, sleep-deprived teen who was said to have the mental capacity of a 10-year-old.
Okay.
So the circuit judge. Now this is standard. Every murder case, they're challenging it for something. So this is just normal. Everybody expects that they're going to challenge. The judge is going to say, "Go fuck yourself," and she burned multiple babies. We don't care. The judge here in this case decides that quote, "It was the opinion of the court that she did not knowingly and intelligently waive her constitutional rights to remain silent and to have the advice of counsel."
Yeah,
so they rule.
10. Yeah.
They rule that they throw everything the fuck out.
Wow.
Her whole confession, all the evidence against her, everything Roger said, everything is gone. So now they have, if you're a jury, you have a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old are going to come in court and cry that their whole families are dead.
Right.
And now they're being blamed for it when they didn't do anything. And Grandpa Obi sat right by the fire watching it burn, and he lied about his financial records and all this shit. And there's no fingerprints. There's no physical proof. It's just who admitted to it. So how are you going to convict these fucking kids now, right? So, they decided that they said that the court concluded the record did not reveal that the defendant had any prior police or trial experience, or that she knew of her constitutional rights to remain silent and to have the assistance of counsel. They didn't read her fucking rights, and that she was not informed that would be afforded to her. I don't know if it's because fire investigators did it. They're not. I don't know what the fuck it was, but nobody read these kids their rights.
Stunning.
They kept them there for a day and a half without reading them their rights, and then
what year is this?
1988, Jimmy. Or 1969, I'm sorry. That 1988 was the other one. 1969. Right. Miranda was semi-new. What was it, 64 Miranda was?
I don't know, but that guy is dead by
now. Yeah, he's long dead. Yeah, you can go make fun of his headstone, I guess, but he's fucking dead, I'm sure. So maybe not, though. Maybe he was like 30, and he's in his 70s now. Who knows? We'll see.
No, he's dead.
He's probably dead. Yeah,
he was stabbed to death.
You know what?
Yeah.
How would he not be? Probably.
He was a bad person.
You're like, you dumb shit fuck. Yeah. So, they said that she wasn't. They said that the court concluded that the record, didn't reveal any of that. She wouldn't have known any of that. So, in consequence, it's the opinion of the court that she did not knowingly and intelligently waive her constitutional rights and to have advice of a counsel, and that her waiver of her rights was invalid. So, the court overrules the motion to stay the case and fucking dismisses 12 counts of murder.
Shocking.
They have the state has to just, they have no proof otherwise without the statements, and there's no way to go back and get them. So they said that at this point they're still being held. The attorney then says, well, how do we get them released? So they have to be able to. They need like an adult to come get her. Her whole family's been burned to death. Obviously, her mother. She burned her mother alive. So and also Roger's got a $10,000 surety bond, and there's that.
Well, that's easy to cover. He just won $10,000.
We get no shit. Some woman in North Carolina paid his $10,000.
Wow.
So an unknown woman in North Carolina paid his $10,000. They describe Susie wearing a pink sweater and knee-length black skirt, often conferred with her lawyers during the court session, and was ecstatic when Judge Black granted the motion to dismiss the case. Roger, attired in a blue sweater and black slacks, maintained a motionless calm throughout and did not appear to be moved by the judge's decision. The press talked to Susie.
Yeah.
How do you feel? She said, I feel great. Whole family's burned alive. Feeling good, everybody. Quote, I feel great. That is her quote in the newspaper in print. She's being rushed out of there ahead of people. And they asked Roger, and he said, I feel good. And he says he's glad to see it's over with. And then he says he's been treated okay. They ask him questions. He says good, glad, and okay. Those are his answers.
Your fam's gone, Raj. What are you talking about?
Burned alive. Your mother, you had to hear in court how a man watched your mother burn to death. And you were just like, I don't care. I feel great.
You heard a fireman.
You did that.
Yeah, say crispy child.
Mm-hmm.
Fried baby.
like a calamari. And it's
fried
fucking
baby.
Yeah. Mozzarella stick baby, and you're going to fucking...
2 words together that are legit that a grown man said, fried baby.
Unless the word octopus is after it, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? I don't want to know anything about that. It's the only time I want to hear fried baby is that.
Man, I'm stunned.
Yeah, you think? Holy shit, this is fucking crazy. Now, their lawyers, who are named Black and Mumchimer, they're young guys here, both these guys. They said they were relieved to have the 10-month legal battle over with because you know what each of them has been paid for all 10 months so far?
Grand? How much?
$50 each.
Wow.
They've been paid $50 each. They're like, we put a lot of work into this. We got a dozen murder charges dismissed. You know how fucking hard that is to do?
What is that, $4 a charge?
This little bitch burned babies, man, and her little twat brother burned babies alive.
$4 a charge.
That is pretty good. It's a good bargain. That's not bad. $2 tip on top of it. So they said that they said the normal fee for such a case, which includes a trip to the state Supreme Court to support the judge's decision and arraignments, would be about $7,000 to $10,000.
Yeah,
that would just be for Susie's. The state files an affidavit of the prosecuting attorney in which he states that the case of the state against the defendant has been based almost entirely upon defendant's statements to Rausch and the city detective, and the evidence which she has furnished, and without such statements and evidence, it would be impossible to obtain a conviction in any of the 12 cases in which she's been indicted for murder. So later on, in 2009, by the way, they do a there's more to this story, by the way, because she has a second whole thing here going on.
Okay.
Susie. 2009, they did a retrospective, the Parkersburg newspaper, about how the fuck did this happen, basically.
Yeah,
like
40
what
years
happened?
ago, this got fucked.
Yeah, how did this get fucked so hard? They said it was blamed on, quote, some quick decisions, especially by Fire Marshal Rausch, who was out of his element in taking a confession. Yeah, they shouldn't be interrogating people. The fire marshal shouldn't be fucking interrogating someone. They have homicide detectives who are trained for that. Well, I don't know if this police department does, but regular ones that aren't in the hills of West Virginia do.
Where's your game warden?
Yeah, where's the game warden? Bring the mayor in. Somebody's got to know how to do this shit.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, apparently. So... They said, quote, once they poisoned the testimony of the kids, anything they acquired, which included the evidence and all kinds of goodies, was inadmissible.
Yeah.
It was all the evidence. They told them where they stashed the dish afterwards. They told them everything they told him is all out.
It's all trash. Yeah.
Any evidence, physical evidence that they found based on what she told them is also out. Mm-hmm. It's fruit of the poisonous tree, they call it. So it's all dead. So they said that's what happened. The ex-prosecutor said they got off and we felt horrible about it. Wow. I would say. This is fucking insane. This is like I can't even.
Never charged for it.
It's fucking crazy. Well, it gets worse here. She starts a new life, Jimmy.
Yeah.
New life. Susie and Roger, wow. Holy shit. They had... Basically, they said that she didn't knowingly and intelligently waive her rights, so she can do whatever she wants. So she ends up in a new home. She leaves Parkersburg in the custody after the court of Wood County jailer Harry E. Owens, who is her legal guardian, and his wife. Okay. So, this is where we're at. Did that hurt your head? Is it how West Virginia is this? Okay. The jailer has also agreed to be her legal guardian and take her in with his wife for now. Just for now, because she needs to have, they can't just be like, because her guardian that she's going to have is in another state. It's in Ohio. So basically they're like, well, we can't just have her have no guardian. So the jailer says, me and my wife will sign for her. Yeah. So they do it. And she's going to another state. She also is allowed to change her name. What? So no one will call her a family-killing twat. So, she changes her name. A legal notice was in the Parkersburg News, and they said that she filed a petition to change her name to Laura Jean Boone, Lorageane Boone, Laura Jean Boone. So this is fucking wild. So now she's going to Ohio as Laura Jean Boone. All right. Okay, it gets fucking strange now, as if it wasn't already, but it does. It gets very fucking odd. So she's in Ohio. She's doing her thing here. Apparently, Roger is sent somewhere else. I believe Roger's in North Carolina and she's in Ohio, which these two probably should be broken up, I think. We don't need these two together. Anytime they get together, a house burned down. So she leaves everything behind here. And the weird part is, I guess he ended up being... the jailer and his wife ended up taking care of her for like a couple of months. She was like their guardian. So Roger gets sent to North Carolina, Susie in Ohio. The brother ends up settling in and just kind of trying to have a life here. Okay. Susie changes her name. She she's constantly getting like caught with boys in the back of cars and in like, she's out being super wild. She's a chronic truant. She's not in school after like the first month because she just tears ass out of there. She's doing all this shit, including she even runs away and takes a trip to meet with who? Her cousin, who she fucked. She killed her family to fuck this guy, and now she goes and sees him again. They should have thrown her in prison for that. Sorry. You never get to fuck your cousin. That's what the ruling is here. Ever again. So in 1972, after she is in and out and all this shit, she's sent to Ohio. She's being like taken in as a chronic truant, dropping out of school, running away. She is taken to an Ohio psychiatric hospital where she then escapes from the psychiatric hospital as well. And so it's fucking crazy. Anyway, she apparently at some point, she ends up leaving a note for her brother at some point. This is the last anybody ever hears of her, saying that she got married and is moving to the Northeast. That was the last anybody's ever heard of her. But before that...
Yeah, you're in the Northeast.
No, you're in the Appalachians. That's not the Northeast. Trust me. Tell a person in West Virginia they're from the Northeast and see what they say to you. I ain't from I'm from the goddamn Appalachians. They never
say what you want, but geographically
and
speaking,
you know what?
That's Northeast.
No, we're not. It's not. We're not claiming them either. So
it's that.
It's the hill folk. Claim. It's the hill folk.
So where's
Sorry.
she going? Like Maine, Vermont?
No, those Appalachians cut the Northeast right off. Pennsylvania's not the Northeast outside of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. The rest of that
well, where
is
the fuck is the Northeast to somebody like this? Is it Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Boston?
That's it. Only Maine. Saskatchewan. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just kidding. So either way, the woman who took her in, by the way, they said that all of the records of Susie Jane Bailey were destroyed. Everything was destroyed. So if you don't know of this story, you could never find out about this story, like if you meet her or anything, because they destroyed all the state records and everything here. In 1972, there is a newspaper article, and it's labeled, "Is Susie Bailey alive? No one is certain." Oh. Okay, so... yeah, they're talking about, this is a great article. A Parkersburg teenager once charged with the murders of her parents and 10 brothers and sisters has vanished from the public eye. And no one, not even former guardians, police, or her surviving sister and brother, has any idea where the former Susie Bailey is.
Oh, my God.
Susie, now 17, and her 15-year-old brother were charged with, okay, that's just a recap. 10 months later, they were released from custody, and all charges were dropped after the courts held that confessions taken from the two youths were not admissible evidence. That destroyed the prosecution's case. Since then, the Associated Press has learned Susie has lived with a guardian, has been taken to a mental hospital, and been returned to jail for several months after running away from said mental hospital, and has told her older sister she was married and moving to the Northeast. That was last October, and since then, neither her older sister, her legal guardians, nor her brother Roger have heard from her. Roger is now living with an unidentified benefactor in North Carolina, a woman who hired his attorney after reading of the case. Some lady in North Carolina read what happened, felt bad for Roger because she felt like Roger was manipulated by the sister, So anonymously paid for his shit, paid for his lawyer, paid for his bond, and adopted him. How lucky is Roger?
I don't know if it's lucky. That also sounds fucking creepy. Like, you know what I mean? Here's a kid that's manipulated easily. I could sure take him.
Yeah. That sounds like some rich lady reading an article in the newspaper and going, we really need to do something about these poor children. This is terrible,
rich lady with a barren uterus.
Yeah, and there's some guy in like his golf outfit going, I don't care, honey.
Whatever you need, lady.
Whatever, I don't care. I'm going to bang my secretary now. She's like, I'm going to adopt him. So they said, where is this here? Okay, Roger's now living with these people. He is reportedly doing fine by his older sister, who is the only member of the Bailey family not living at home at the time of the fire. The course taken by Susie since she was released from custody was traced this week by the Associated Press following reports from another area of the county that an unidentified dead girl could be her.
Oh.
Now, that was a thing. There has been no evidence to substantiate that it was her, though. They said, so on this day, she was released, because this is an anniversary of her release. They said that all records of Susie Jane Bailey were destroyed. She ceased to exist by that name. An Ohio woman who had come to visit Susie in West Virginia jail, another person who just saw it on the news, became the legal guardian of Laura Jean Boone because, as she put it, quote, I'm one of those people who takes in every stray dog. My heart aches for them. Okay. Wow. For 7 months, stray dogs normally don't set fires that burn babies to fried fucking, you know.
Also, if you've got
to appetizers,
a girl that will murder her whole family in a fire, why would you put that girl that's probably not all together in a house that just has everything that in a cluttered adoption house?
Burn them alive in their sleep, for Christ's sake. What if you don't want her to do something?
Right.
What her father told her not to do was a very reasonable request. Hey.
Pretty easy ask.
15-year-old daughter, can you not fuck your adult first cousin, please? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That is you as Susie, you had to realize when you started fucking your adult first cousin that's probably not going to fly within the family, and if you get caught, you're probably going to get told not to do that anymore. So to act like it's a shock and that you're so egregious, it's so egregious that you need to like fucking kill everybody. Also, kill the parents if you got a problem with your parents. Don't kill all the children. That's crazy. So anyway, here it goes here. She did not attend school there. For 7 months, Laura Boone lived with the Ohio family. She did not attend school mainly because there were no records of Laura Boone living before her 16th birthday. So she couldn't go to school because there's no school records for her.
Transcripts.
Nope. She's like a witness protection person at this point. She's got nothing. She didn't take a course. She did take a correspondence course, but never finished it. Okay. Of course. Well, when cousin cock is on your mind, how do you finish things? How are you not distracted by your cousin's dick in your face? Wow. After 7 months with the family, during which problems developed over young men who allegedly visited Laura while her guardians were at work, she'd have guys coming over while she's at work. Laura ran away, reportedly with a young man who was her first cousin when she was Susie Bailey. It was the guy who was Baumgartner. In the confession that was not allowed as evidence, Susie told Parkersburg police she had set the gasoline blaze after she became angry when her father made her quit dating her first cousin. Her parents were first cousins. That's in the article. Like that. Just like that. Like
her dad's a hypocrite.
Super reasonable, but at the same time, I mean, fuck. What do you expect? You know what I mean?
This is
Don't
how
set
she got
that example.
the idea to do it. Right.
From you, Dad. I learned it by watching you. Like she's that commercial, essentially.
After school special.
With a little box of her cousin's dick is what it is instead of weed. A little wooden box of weed the kid had.
Yeah.
Following the runaway, Laura was arrested as a delinquent and subsequently spent 3 months in custody before being released again into the custody of her legal guardians. After the return to her foster home, Laura encountered more problems and was taken in June of 1971 to a mental institution in Athens, Idaho by her guardians, or Ohio, by her guardians for the evaluation. Holy shit. About 6 weeks later, she ran away from the Athens State Hospital and was not returned to either the hospital or the home of her legal guardians. She just fucking disappeared.
And that's the end of it?
That was like she's legally supposed to be in this hospital. She disappeared and they were like, I don't know, we can't find her. Someone should look because she's a person capable of, for a tiny slight, killing a fucking dozen people. That's crazy. That's a dangerous person. Very dangerous. She wasn't returned. In October, Laura told her sister and brother through letters that she'd been married and was moving to the Northeast. Roger, the older sister, said, quote, she and her husband even slopped down in North Carolina to see Roger. Slopped down?
That's a weird way to say it.
Slopped? I've never heard that. Slopped. Oh, we're going to slop over to San Francisco on August the 12th for our live shows.
Does she think that's what schlep means?
I think so. I think she's like, I heard Jewish people in New York say schlep, but I think it's slopped is what they meant to say.
I heard Jewish people slop all over the place, so
slopping,
we slop too.
schlepping, I don't know. Wow. So since that time, the only word heard about Laura Boone was an inquiry from another area of the country where a woman thought a picture of an unidentified dead girl was familiar, but further investigation revealed no reason to believe the dead girl and Laura Boone are the same. Didn't say there's no reason not to believe, just who knows. Her sister said, quote, I'm worried about Susie because we just haven't heard from her. And she's got no like records and all this type of shit. So, anyway, back at where her parents and her 10 siblings were killed here, they had, they have a communal gravesite in the Bethel Cemetery in Elizabeth, and a marble marker notes that they died in a tragic fire, it says.
No doubt.
They were murdered by their fucking kid and sibling. That's fucking horrific. But, yeah, no one knows where she is. I looked up. I'll find people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I looked all fucking over the place on all these websites trying to find something. I found a Laura Jean Boone's on Facebook, but they didn't match like the age or where they fucking were. Then I found like another Laura Jean Boone, but like her family didn't match up, the family story and the obituary and like where she had gone, and like this person was in the military and shit. I'm like, she's definitely wasn't in the military. No. She can't handle the discipline of not fucking her cousin. Imagine having to,
Unless they had her firebomb poppy fields in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Actually, yeah, she might have went to Nam to drop some napalm on some children. We need some. Nobody's willing to do it. She's like, let me ask you a question. You think my cousin's pretty hot, huh? I mean, I guess he's all right. I'll do it. I'll burn those children. That's right. She's cold, man. She's like a fucking assassin. Like this
Honestly,
that's cold. But no, I looked it up fucking everywhere and trying to find anything on her. And I found other ones. I found some people in Colorado that had the same name, but the age was wrong and like different spellings of Laura. It's Lora, not Laura. So it's a real pain in the ass. If anybody can find her, I mean, I don't know. What would she be now? In her 60s. She was 16 and 69, 15 and 69, so that's 54. So, yeah, she'd be almost 70 at this point, and her 68 years oldish. So,
holy fuck, man.
And I'm sure, I got to say, I can't imagine that she went somewhere and quietly settled down and had nothing else happen for the rest of her life.
Yeah, that's an angry girl who's got some major, major issues. And if she'll snap and kill 10, burn them alive, and she'll fuck her own cousin, and she's getting thrown out of places because she's fucking everybody.
And she'll fuck her own cousin. That's important. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's not like afterwards they were like, once she came to our house, she really tried hard in school, and she went to church, whatever they try to make her do to make her quote unquote normal, and then she went to like activities and she did a thing and she was in like the high school play. No, she showed up and was just as bad or worse as she was before. Now she's in mental hospitals, breaking out, fucking getting arrested, putting in jail, get out, fuck their cousin, back to jail,
inviting guys over at her as a ward at the house to bang random
at the house.
She exhibits all the signs of mental issues. Today, obviously.
Yeah, she's a psychopath.
Later. Yeah,
it's psychopath.
Certainly a psychopath.
She's just any impulses. She's gonna let it give into it basically. So she's out there. Like I said, because she didn't just come home and go, "Oof, I had that in me, got that out of my system," and whatever. She was just a tear away from there until she ran away, saying she married somebody. Who the fuck knows if she changed her name to something else? You know what I mean? She could have easily changed her name again.
Yeah, who knows if she didn't freak out one night with her boyfriend and he'd fucking murder her and then send that letter to the family. Who knows where
we don't know that either. She could be in a literally in a field somewhere, buried. She could be anywhere on the face of the earth.
Wow.
If you're out there,
you're
Laura Jean Bailey or whatever. Yeah, if you're out there, you're a real asshole, Boone. That's what it was.
You're a nightmare.
You're a dick. If you'd like to tell your side of the story, we'll listen. Yeah. We'd love to hear what happened in the rest of your life, and we'll tell our listeners about it. I know you won't, because why would you? We're just going to make fun of you for being a terrible... And you're probably dead. We're just going to make fun of you for being a terrible person, and it's the only recourse we have. But wow. There you go. There is West Virginia, Beckley and Parkersburg. And I have to say this very quickly. There's a book that's hilarious. And I've played parts for you. H. John Benjamin's book, The Failure is an Option, it's called. He's the voice of Bob from Bob's Burgers and Archer and, all that shit, right? He wrote a book, and it's a memoir of all of his failures in life. And it's fucking amazingly hilarious. It's just all this dumb, terrible shit he does, how bad it backfires.
Yeah.
He's an idiot, and he's like going to tell you why. It's so funny. Well, he tells a story about... He's a teenager. He's working for a summer for somebody, and some guy gets dropped off from the Walpole prison who's out on work release with him during the day. So he's like 16, and he has to hang out with some prisoner all day. And he goes, one day we went to lunch, and they went to his cousin's house, who was some chick, right? And he goes, we went in there, and the place was kind of dirty, and I was like, I don't know if I want to eat lunch here. And he said his cousin went in the room, and the guy goes to him, you want to fuck my cousin? And he's like...
Not really.
What? He's like, he said he's had sex one time. He was 16, and it was for, he said, I don't know what kind of a porn market there is for 3 seconds of sex on a tape. You know what I mean? He's like, this is going to be terrible. Plus, the whole thing's kind of gross. And he's like, I don't know. And so he said, in the midst of everything, he goes, basically, the prisoner was going to play a bellboy. He had like a bow tie. He was going to come in with a bottle of champagne, and they were going to pretend like they were in a hotel room. So he said, in a panic, I told him, I'll wear the bow tie. I'll be the bellboy. So he says, obviously, I've put up a strange proposition of him now fucking his cousin. And then he cuts the story to, so if you're a real porn aficionado, it's on beta. You can see the teenage H. John Benjamin saying, your champagne, sir, in a porno where a prisoner on work release fucks his cousin. And at the end of the story, he's like, this happened and this happened. He goes, I really like the guy. And he goes, even though he fucked his cousin, he really was a nice guy. Blah, 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 blah. And that's all I can think about when I read the story over and over is even though he fucked his cousin. It's disgusting. So that's it. Anyway, that's West Virginia. And you know what? That is West Virginia.
It is. Yeah. It's all of it.
What the fuck, man? What's happening in there? What's going on? What makes it special inside those borders? Because I'd like to know. We have a lot of cases, and a lot of them have a good amount of stank on them, you know what I mean? But holy shit, we've never had a place that has this consistent level of craziness.
Of awful.
Florida has 20 million people. You expect a lot of crazy to happen. Like, we get that. In New York, California, Texas, lots of people. There's going to be lots of crazy.
Right.
There's not a lot of people in West Virginia, but all the people there are like each other's cousins who fucked from other cousins. What is happening? Not listeners from West Virginia. I'm sure you're smarter if you're listening to this, but
boy, I hope
what's
so.
going on?
They know somebody
there?
That does it. They do.
Yeah. And our listeners from West Virginia all the time, they'll send us messages and they're like, that's West Virginia. Holy shit, this place is crazy.
Why?
And then they'll tell us a worse story. They'll be like, my cousin did this, this, and this. And we're like, holy shit. So at least they do have a good sense of humor about it there, the people who get it, you know what I mean? So either way, that's West Virginia. If you like that story, you should definitely tell the world about it.
Oh, yeah.
Get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. Say something nice. It's not for our ego. It just help drive us up the charts. And more crazy stories like the one I told you in H. John Benjamin's book as well. And you do that. Also, follow us on social media. We're at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Right.
So you can do all that. Find us all there. And then you can, in addition to that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
What's there?
Oh, my God, so much stuff. Merchandise is up. We have so much merchandise, new merchandise all the time. Get yourself a coloring book, damn it.
Yeah.
You want a coloring book? You want a skateboard? You want a shower curtain? You want a mug? We got it all in there. The only thing we don't have is fucking hats for some reason. It's not our fault. We would love you to have
merch,
hats.
James.
We would love you to have hats.
Yeah.
For some reason, Threadless, who otherwise, besides the hats, has done wonderful for us. They really are terrific. They're a great company. If they send you the wrong shit or the wrong size or anything like that, you just tell them. They don't even make you send shit back. They just send you the right thing.
Yeah.
Customer service out the ass. That's why we've stuck with them for years, because they're really good at customer service. For
there's somebody
people,
with somebody else's family on a blanket, for Christ's sake.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've gotten a couple of weird things, but they'll replace it. They'll fix it. The problem is no matter how, for 5 years we've asked for hats.
Yeah.
And they will not produce a hat for some reason. We can't get hats as merch. We've had our own hats made that we sell in those boxes that Sarah posts about. Follow us on social media, because she puts up these boxes with like a bunch of cool merch shit in it that you can't get anywhere else. So get on that. But anyway, the boxes. What the hell was I getting at?
Hats.
Hats. No hats. They have no hats. We have hats in the boxes. They don't have hats, but we have everything else under the sun. Yes. They just put up yoga mats now. So they have this whole like yoga shit. So you can have, you sir may fuck off on your yoga mat while you're trying to be calm.
But you can't have a hat.
No hat though.
No
don't
yoga
wear a hat
hats.
there.
You get a
no yoga
mat.
hats. Which we don't like, because as George Carlin says, I don't want to be a part of any group where I'm either not allowed to wear a hat or I have to wear a hat. Neither one. I love that.
I just want the option. Always want the option to have a hat.
Don't tell me what to have on my head. I love that. Fucking his whole thing about church. Why? I don't have to have a hat. The fucking Pope's got a hat all the time. Right. He can have a hat. God can get through his hat to his head, but my hat, prayers can't get up to God through my hat. Fuck you. So... anyway, they don't have that, but they have everything else. Check that out. Tons of new merch on there. Tons of stuff. And also on shutupandgivememurder.com. Most importantly, tickets to live shows. Oh, my God. It's so much fun. We are going to be August 12th in San Francisco for 2 shows at Cobb's Comedy Theater there, or club, or whatever the fuck it is. We've been there multiple times, but I can't remember what is a theater or a club or whatever. Either way, it's a really nice place. It's a lot of fun, and we have 2 shows. They'll be completely different shows, different cases, so you can see both if you want. Next night, we're in Sacramento. The Small Town Murder show. There's 2 shows that night. One Small Town Murder, one Crime and Sports. Small Town Murder's been sold out for about 2.5 years, but it's rescheduled a bunch, so people are allowed to return their tickets. What's been happening is you'll get people who go, oh shit, I forgot to do that. Then they turn their tickets in at the last minute and no one else can buy them, and then we have empty seats where there's people going, I couldn't get tickets. And it's like, well, if that fucking person would have returned them the day before, maybe you could have. So yeah, keep checking back. Even day of show, check in. There might be tickets there. You never know. Either way, get tickets for the Crime and Sports show, which is the late show. It's going to be Daryl Strawberry. So we know that. It's a wild story. It's a lot of fun. Lots of crack and prostitutes and all sorts of stuff. It's fun stuff. Check that out. Then, September the 10th, we will be at the Pabst in Milwaukee. That's a big old theater. We want to sell this out. It'll be our biggest show ever. Right. Bigger than Boston, New York, Philly, Chicago, Minneapolis. No, we're going to say, where's your biggest show? Boston? No, not Boston. Or Chicago? No. Milwaukee is the biggest goddamn show. So Milwaukee, flex your shit and show everybody else what's up.
And it's closing in on it. You better hurry.
You guys are doing it.
So
You're
close.
doing it. So get your tickets, because I think it's going to happen. People have been buying them like crazy lately. Milwaukee wants to be number one, so damn it, do it. And if you were at the Chicago show, it's a completely different show this time, so it's like an hour drive. Get your asses up there and see us. Come hang out with us. Do all of that. Have lots of fun. We can't wait to see you. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of the bonus stuff. Holy shit, is the bonus stuff fun. And this week is no different. For $5 or above, you could get everything that we put out. Right. Crime and Sports, Small Town Murder, back catalog of like 150 episodes, all of it there. And we put out every other week. We put out 2 new episodes.
Yes,
so you're going to get at least 4 a month, sometimes 6. So this week, what you're going to get is, for Crime and Sports, you're going to get the scandals of Michael Jordan. Right. Which is interesting because he's the most bulletproof media figure in the history of sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
Anything that gambling, a sports player with a gambling problem at the time, nobody cares. Swept under the rug. all this shit that happens. Paternity suits coming up. Remember what happened to Tiger Woods when he fucked like 2 Perkins waitresses?
Right.
He became the joke of the world. Michael Jordan was fucking, whatever, allegedly, every fucking Denny's waitress this side of the Mississippi, and nobody fucking gave 2 shits about it. It's amazing. He wore a Hitler mustache on television, and people went, boy, that Mike can really sell some underwear. It's crazy. And you'll hear about the largest divorce settlement, one of the largest I've ever heard of. It's fucking insane. So
I'm sure it's the largest in history. It's the largest.
Not maybe for an athlete.
Sports history.
Sports, yeah. Tiger Woods' is pretty big too, though. But Michael's is even bigger. So it's big. So check that out. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to do something so fun. Like in the beginning of the show, we're going to do small town reviews, which are honestly our favorite thing to do. We love doing the reviews and making fun of people's petty grievances. It's the best thing in the world for us. So we're going to do that, talk about small town reviews from around the country, and we'll find some weird, crappy businesses to review in these towns as well. It'll be a good time all around. And thank you for doing all that, everybody that has. Patreon.com/crime and sports. That said, also PayPal. Use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. That said, damn it, Jimmy, hit me with the list of people who we can't fucking live without. I need to hear them. Shout it from the rooftops.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Bennett, Liz Vasquez, Michelle Hansen, Britton Edwards, Stuart Allen, Catherine Shelley, Siobhan Mann, and Brandon Earl. Thank you, guys. From the bottom of these cold black hearts, you're amazing. Other producers this week are Rob Wilson, happy birthday, Dana Stewart in New Orleans, Peyton Edwards. No, that's Meadows. I've said her name a million times. Sorry, Peyton.
You fucked it all up, Jimmy. Even if you donate all the time, Jimmy will still mess your name up. Even if he's met you in person.
The family Earp had a baby. Welcome to the shit show, Amber Melody. Nicole Ann Beaver, Emil Goldager, Nicole Meyer, Sholo. Wait, is it Sky Lolo and the Haiti Kid?
Yeah, those are tag team Little People wrestlers from the 70s and 80s. Oh, yeah.
Lolo.
Sky Lolo is his name.
Happy hour in Nacogdoches, Texas. Corporal Carl Kirshner is coming to Milwaukee. Can't wait to see you, Carl.
There you go.
Looking forward to it.
Wear the Green Beret outfit.
Reverend Alexander Jacobson, Rabbi Shmuelovich, and Shitta Perlman, Janice Hill.
All the people are coming out today.
Frank, the South African birdwatcher. Michaela Bruce, Margaret MacArthur, Kevin Coffey. Oh, he drove through El Paso and thought of us, the poor bastard.
Poor guy.
Your mom's chest hair, and Steve Schnell. And we miss Steve in Pittsburgh. Or Philly. God damn it. I'm pretty upset
we love
about
him
it.
Too. Yeah, that sucks,
great.
Man.
Carolyn Averstead. Barbara Lang, Jennifer Stump, K with no last name, Tim Schroeder, Daniel Alexander, Connie Cupp, Josh M., Sarah Bader, Nick with no last name, Martin A. Miller, Denara with no last name, Denara, Shelby Drake, Jennifer with no last name, Kyle LaChapelle, Renee Pollard, Taylor Johnson, Susan Chan, Eminem, Jen Gerber, Chloe Celine Webster, Sam Denton, Alex with no last name, Barbara De Leon, Joanne Brown, Anthony Blessington, John Wirtz, Cameron Borg, Braxton Jones, Emily Zutterman, Chelsea Anderson, Christian with no last name, Ollie Leip, I think, Leip. I don't know. Mark Otto, Danielle Adams, Margaret Shank, almost called her a skank. I'm sorry, Margaret. Amanda Romero, Caitlin Price, 1978, Kathy Ann, Christy Mize, George with no last name, Shane Light, Monica with no last name, MCF, Karen Grover, Doyle Hudson, Linda Wassaloo. All right. Robert Pennell, Tasha Wood, Whitney Ellis, Brandy Archer, Cork with no last name, Hannah Kruger, Sean Rodkey, Carolyn Crampton, Ryan Hesse, Mike Rogeman, Nicholas Benning,
Courtney, me what it is? It's in front of you, goddammit.
I think you get it. Courtney Liparelli, Christopher Daly, Bud Buds, Ed Gaines' mom, Nicholas Willman, Jacob, Reichers, Sheila Wigton, Laura Johnson, Dory with no last name, Stephen Olson, Bill with no last name, Catherine Metzger, Catherine Rachel, Christina Black, nope, that's Katrina Black, Kelly Carbell, Austin Bacasa, Greg Pudwill, that's a tough name, Greg, Sarah Patrick, Christy G, Proto Mankini, Oh, boy. Christopher Hemaballs. I don't know what that is.
Jimmy, you got this.
Holly with no last name. Mary with no last name. Fraser Davies. Amanda McKenzie. Gregory Stosich. Carrie Knight. Markle. No, that's Markle, all right. Ryder. It's probably Mark Ryder, and I put it. It's the L's right next to the K. That's what it is. It's Mark Ryder. God damn it. Tyler Vale.
Typing.
Valley. Curtis Lind. Brianne Young. Melissa with no last name. Corey James. Dane Brummett. Zoe Lewis, Callie Inman, Kyle Azcueta, Mason K.
A couple more shots, you would have had that, I think. You were close.
Martin
more.
Summers, Leonie Turner, J.S., Richie Riggins, Ethan Johnson, Jade Aaron, Amber Anderson, Joe Licciardello, whatever it is. Josh Nutt, PJ Hartwig, Fish Lips with no last name. John Shepard, Hoke Luther Jackson, Brendan Moran, Evan Dixon, Lexi Vergara, David Barbaras, Kendall Stanley, Nadia Garcia, William Allen, Megan Koenigs, Darren Henricks, Jess Stevenson, that's Kirk Stevens, Mike Ninmo, Rosanna Bongerimino, Danny D. Bear, Sean McGuire, Eric Stop. It was not.
You're
Rebecca
shaking your head
Bailey,
like, no.
Jeff and Nancy Guest, no name at all. I don't know who that is. They had an email address that I'm not going to read. Gwendolyn Lloyd, fair. Kevin Michael, I think, Tracy Laird, Tyler Anson, Don Belknap, Kara Glidewell. That's a tough one also, Kara. Maggie Dutt, Valerie Valenta. Terry Wade, Eden Centeno, Cindy Harris, Hunter Curley, I think, John Castleman, Abby Banks, Alex Warnick, Josh with no last name, Luke Thompson, Lindsay with no last name, Angelique Warner, Adam Cholsky, Jen Rodriguez, Lindsay Dowell, Jory Steinkraus, I believe, Eric Fortney, Chris McGinnis, Robert B., Matt Williams, probably not, Ryan Mowry, Laura Bailey, Jackie Gorski, Jessica Belisai, that's what that is, Tammy Hedrick, Jay Moore, probably not that one, Allie Montgomery.
Come on. They're coming out of the woodworks.
The guy's dating the bus. What's her name? The lady that owns the lake?
Jeannie Bus.
He's dating her. That's insane.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe he is. That's why he's contributing to us. He has the money to do it. Allie Montgomery.
Make your money.
Jimmy's future ex-wife. Annie, you don't want that. Connie
Kareem
Hamilton.
Abdul-Jabbar made me this money. Long time ago. Sorry.
Doodle Sin, Susan O'Neill, Lori Ferguson, Zachary Traxler, Ryan Wetzel, Kraulis, Borden, Tana Izzelli, Jesus, Spencer Merritt, Mitchell Gildea. Yeah, he's on Twitter and shit, too. He's a terrific guy. Austin Pritchard, also Matt Pritchard, Sierran Byrne, Lucius Part 1, Princess Mel Delia, Deja, Brianna Anderson, Andrew Chavez, Teresa Ford, Amanda Howell, Hannah Weiss, Angie with no last name, Brandon Morris, Jason Brinkman, Hollywood Johnson, Jeremiah Williams, Chris James, Terry Woods, Chris Keller, Colin Ward, Crystal Bussey, Michelle Young, Sarah McMurdo, whoa boy, Jeremy with no last name, Terrell Burris, Sarah Potts, Justin Dibble, Rob's kid probably, Angelo Gilly, yeah, Calvin Cotton, Walter Bentley, Nicole with no last name, Ryan Zazeski, Paige Cameron, Gene Schleier, Stormy Moore, Andrew Taylor, Judith Godwin, Sarah Steiger, John Dummer, shit, so am I, Todd Shepard, Ryan Mountain, Hunter Devine, Jacob Nasson, Connie Harlan, Shelby Burt, Kendall Johnson, Diana Allen, and all of our patrons. You guys are unbelievable.
Thank you, everybody, so much for all that you do for us. You guys are awesome. Thank you, honestly, seriously, from the bottom of our hearts for doing all that you do, and hope you're enjoying the bonus episodes. Yeah. If you want to follow us on social media, Jimmy and myself personally, very easy to find us. Go to the shutupandgivememurder.com on your way to getting tickets to San Francisco, the Pabst, or even the Florida shows in September. Way to get your tickets for any of those. Stop off at the menu there, find our social media links, and get right to it. Or just look up Small Town Murder Podcast Host. There's only two of us. That said, everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging. And until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It's Wayfair's President's Day clearance. Right now through February 18th, get up to 70% off everything home with free and easy delivery straight to your door. It's kind of like a present. President's Day. I like the sound of that.
Wayfair, every style, every home.